What is going on? Man, always feels these Thursdays feel like they're Fridays, man. I don't know what's going on with it, but these Thursdays are really litty, if you know what I mean. What's going on, everybody? Woo! Oh, man, it's your boy MJ in the building. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Good Thursday. Just playing some Ron right now. All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another session, Trap Talk session with MJ. Before we get started, first off, shout out to everyone in the comments, man. What the comments are blowing up right now. Appreciate that. Is it me? Are you guys all here for me? Doubt it. All right. Anyways, guys, first, before we get started, guys, thanks to everyone for being here. If you support this channel anyway, please do your boy a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment, give me a like or a dislike. Give me something, show me, give me something. Appreciate that. Also, I want to mention, hey, look, I'm looking for any kind of sponsors out there, man. Want to take this podcast to the next level. I'm really motivated, really inspired. Bringing people on here is something that's really just been changing my life lately, and it's in a positive way, right? So I'm looking for any kind of help, man. Any kind of sponsors out there. If you guys want to link up, let me know. Please shoot me an email or reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. Link in the description below. Information's in the description below. So please reach out to me. I'd mean a lot to me. Or if you could direct me to somebody, that'd be cool too. But let's give a shout out to the one sponsor that I have, and that's Cold Blooded Cafe, man. Shout out to Cold Blooded Cafe. Highest produce in rats, man. I'm telling you right now, if you want to spoil your snakes, get some Cold Blooded Cafe. Stephen Cush running things over there, killing it over there. I'm telling you right now. Let them know that MJ sent you. They'll take care of you guys extra proper. So shout out to Cold Blooded Cafe. $30 flat rate shipping anywhere in the United States. Boom! And they're bomb too. Really, really good quality, man. They feed their rats nothing but Missouri rat food, which is nothing but the best. But yeah, guys, like I said, David Levine in the comments, Nicholas, Renowned Reptiles in the comments. What's going on? Man, this is going to be a good night, guys, okay? So first and foremost, guys, we all know why we're here, right? Big player in the building. I am super excited to bring this guest on. I don't know how the hell I pulled this off. JP's probably going to want to get credit for this, but nope. Sorry, JP. Kiss my butt. Yeah, guys, let's just take this jacket off real quick. You know what I mean? I need to breathe in here because it's getting a little musty, man. I can't lie, man. It's getting a little smoky in here. But yeah, guys, let's welcome big homie, Justin Kobylka. What up, Justin? Can you hear me okay, Justin? Can you hear me good?
I can.
What up, Justin?
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing good. Everyone's doing good. Everyone's alive in the comments. They're all excited that you're here. Super pumped up, ready to go. Real quick, guys, Justin doesn't have the best reception in the world. So if there's a tiny bit of lag, just, chill out. Deal with it. It's fine. He's here. Yeah. Look at him. Just do it. Justin. What up, Justin? Say hi to everybody. Say, for whoever hasn't been,
going, guys?
Whoever hasn't been on this earth for a while, give us a little introduction, who you are, what the deal is.
All right, yeah, I'm Justin, JKR, and as you guys can probably tell from the stream, I'm out in rural North Georgia, where not only is the internet terrible always, but we have the entire nation on Netflix at the same time right now for this virus. So it's a double whammy, but I'm glad to be here.
Coronavirus. Do you have your coronavirus? How you guys dealing with that over there? Right? I mean, let's just kind of talk about that real quick, since that's like the topic everywhere you look, right? What's going on with how you guys are dealing with the coronavirus? What's happening over there?
Well, we're pretty rural, so it didn't affect our lives as much as people in the bigger cities. We have probably less traffic on the roads, but there was not much traffic to start with. We still don't have any toilet paper, but we have most of the other stuff in our grocery store still. And things are pretty normal, for my family, at least. We already homeschooled, so our kids are still in school, and I worked here at the snake building. And so, I just go to work every day with my social distancing is work. So
not much changed over on your end. You're doing good. Everything's Everything's as is for Justin, which is I think that makes everybody happy.
Pretty normal.
We don't want you to be infected in any way with what you got going on.
Well, they're making it sound like we're all going to get our turn, so we'll see.
Well, you just gotta be ready for it, right? I think everybody gets a turn in their life, you know, either good or bad. It's how you deal with it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. Check that off. Justin is totally fine off this Corona, scare, because it's all a scare, right? So we could just not touch on that anymore. I'm glad. Justin, real quick, man. So family man, one thing I've always looked up since I've come across your work. Honestly, I just want to say I'm so glad and thankful that you're even here right now, giving me your time of day. Because you were somebody I came across. I think it was a news clipping, right? The emoji snake, right? I was like, this is when I had a ball python. This is before I even knew ball pythons were a morph, like it was a thing.
Cool.
And that emoji snake was like, that was like, it was kind of too much at once, I was like, whoa, like what, and then obviously I had to look into it, and that kind of led into a bunch of other things. But man, what led you to the emoji snake? What led you to JKR, man? Like what led you to the beautiful family you have? Like what kind of give me like a little insight on like, was it always just ball pythons, like since you like came out of the womb, or like what got you to where you're at, basically?
No, I loved reptiles since I was a kid, like most of us. It seems like almost a genetic disorder for most of us.
Yeah.
I always loved them. I didn't even know ball pythons really existed. They weren't on my radar until probably around 2000 or so. I was breeding colubrids in my dorm room at college, and I was just loved all the creepies, But ball pythons, who got me into ball pythons was Ralph Davis. I think he's responsible for a lot of people into ball pythons because of his journal and the fact that he was seemingly very successful doing it. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm sure he was. And he was just a really awesome guy doing amazing things, and there's so much to look up to there. And that, I think, informed a lot of when I got in. I thought, man, if I could ever make it to the point where I was making cool stuff like he does, I hope that I can maybe share in that enough to make more people want to do it too. Because a lot of people, I think, they don't necessarily. I'm not saying not necessarily on purpose, but a lot of people don't necessarily share the cool stuff they make, and they don't necessarily give back in that way. And so I just got into ball pythons. I loved them. I'm a kind of a introvert, and anybody who knows me well knows that I love talking to one person at a time. I'm not a social guy really, and so I really was not that connected to the community for a long time. I just really got into it, and I did my thing for years. I just kind of did my thing, and I wasn't that interested in when I got in, it was all about finding the next morph. And reproducing it, making more of them. That was where all the money was, really, whether it be the GHI or the banana or cinnamon or fire, all the yellow belt, all those were kind of going through the list when I was just getting started. And that was a really legitimate business plan, but that did not really interest me as much at the time. At the time, I really wanted to see what these genes were like stacked together. And that was kind of uncharted territory in the sense that people didn't really know if that would become economically viable in the same way that new morphs would. Because you can't really, when you're talking about combos, you can't really control the market in a sense on combos because anybody can make them if the genes are relatively common. With the new genes, everybody had to, if you bought that gene and you were one of the first ones in, you can kind of control how it goes out. You can command a certain price point, and it was really uncharted territory. But that's just all I was interested in, and in the end, the industry went, and so I had a little bit of a jump on it because I got in. I started doing that before it was cool.
So what year was this again? Can you give me like an idea what year this was?
Yeah, 2003 was when I bred my first ball pythons, and back then I was. I think I can see this here. I was Smoky Mountain back then.
Smoky Mountain reptile.
Yeah, for about
So
6
that's
months to a year.
That's before JKR.
Right. Yeah. Then I got a cease and desist
Oh.
from some pet store in Gatlinburg saying that I wasn't allowed to be Smoky Mountain reptiles. And that's how Jacob Elk Reptiles was born.
Listen, we're gonna talk about putting that back on a shirt or something, okay? Me and you. We're gonna come out with a prep.
There you go.
We're gonna come out with a classic. We're gonna come out with a classic.
I got to make sure that they're not going to sue me for it first. Yeah.
Wait. So there's already a Smoky
But
Mountain now?
yeah, apparently there was. That's why I had to stop, because they sent me an
Okay.
email and said, hey, you're not allowed to use that name. And
Yeah,
so I was like, I was so
it'll let you
jaded
know.
at the time. I was so frustrated. Right. I was so frustrated that I was like, man, I don't even know what other names are out there, what people are using, so I'm just going to, I know nobody is using the name Kobylka in their ball python business. So I went with that. Rest is history. Yeah.
I think Kobylka is a badass last name. What kind of last name is that?
I think it's Polish, but it's also Ukrainian and Russian. And I couldn't tell you exactly which of those countries that my ancestors came from.
And you were where'd you grow up? Like, what school did you go to in high school? Like, what are you nearby where you were raised at, or?
No, all over the place. I actually spent a lot of time in Napa, California. My dad lives there. So every
Nice.
summer there growing up.
Nice.
Lived in Oklahoma and Colorado and Tennessee, and going to college in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and ended up here for about 10 years now, or 12 years now. So
What'd you end up going to college?
A lot of life experience.
What'd you go to college for?
Marketing.
Nice.
Marketing.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It worked out well in the end.
Yeah.
I was just a cool sounding major at the time for me. I didn't know it'd become.
So you and then what? Let's see. You graduated high school what year?
2000 exactly. Yeah.
2000. And then and then as far as college goes, how far was your college from where you graduated?
I graduated high school in Oklahoma, and I went to college in Tennessee.
Okay, so in the South, you stayed. Yeah. So you basically been in the South for a while. So you, like you said, you're from like California, a California boy. Then you go to the South, basically, and then now, I mean, for me personally, you can't get me out of California, even though California has some of the worst laws and everything like that. But you have crazy.
There's a reason why people put up with them. Yeah,
right, exactly. So, how often do you visit Cali? Do you visit Cali a lot or no?
Yeah, at least 2 or 3 times a year on average. I go see my dad, or go down. My brother's in LA. He's a LA firefighter. So I go see them pretty often as an excuse to go out there again.
That's nice. What's your family and your folks think about your legacy with the snakes? Do they understand how serious this is?
They do now. Yeah. Initially, my parents don't like snakes at all. They never have, really. They both have a phobia, I would say. Now, but they were supportive in the sense they were always really, really supportive of whatever I did. So that was really, really cool. But no, I think they privately thought it was an absolute ridiculous mistake to do this for a living. But no, now they tell all their friends, and they're super, like, I don't have to tell anybody in my family or circle that what I do, because everybody tells them for me. They think it's so cool that they want to tell everybody about it.
I mean, where you're at in your point, man, there's not much you can do movement wise without somebody noticing it or somebody telling somebody else, man. You're all over the map, bro, for the most part. So, all right. So emoji snake, right? I already mentioned that's kind of what, brought you to my, that's what got my eyes on you. Right. That sounded weird. But that's what got my eyes basically, that basically what got me, on the attention what you were doing, right? So prior to the emoji snake, what was something around that time that was like, I mean, obviously, was it pied? I mean, what was the big morph for you back then that was like?
Oh yeah, okay. So we kind of made our mark. The first one was, we were like the second person to make a pastel pied, which was the first pied combo. So I think it was the Snake Keeper who made the first pastel pied. And we got the second. And Peter Call may have beat us to it, but it's hard to say exactly what he made and when. He was obviously making awesome stuff back then. Yeah. So I made the pastel pied really early. That was kind of an initial claim. Then we hit a dreamsicle, which was just a couple of years after Ralph made that, and he was the second person to make the dream sickle.
Damn.
But the Mark, then we made the first fire pied and the firefly pied, and kind of took off into that realm. But the clowns were really kind of where we got the initial kind of momentum. We got Fire Clown. Fire Clown was the first combo that I made, first new combo I made, and Firefly, then Leopard and Pastel Leopard, and it just kind of went down the road, and we got into the magmas, and it's been this crazy journey ever since.
Was Ralph Davis, right? That was who you were speaking about.
Right.
Was he your plug for all these morphs, like clowns, getting your hands on all these snakes, right? Because I mean, I can only imagine the money you're spending on these, right? So who was your main, like, who was your plug basically? Who was getting you all like, hey, look, this is what you need, or somebody was coaching you, right? I mean, because obviously you need some sort of mentorship for the most part, or was this all on you? I mean, what do you have to say on that?
So I wasn't, like I said, I was an introvert, and I didn't necessarily kind of clue into any one breeder. It wasn't really close to anybody specifically. We bought the animals from all over the place. Honestly, we bought our first clowns from Snake Keeper and from Brian Barczyk, and bought a lavender from Ben Siegel back when he was still going strong. Those are the big ones. We bought our first pieds from Peter Call. But back then, it was just the base genes. You weren't getting much other than that.
Yeah.
It was just the base genes across the board. I think the difference really became when I had a pair of clowns for the first time to breed. I didn't breed them together. When it made so much sense to breed them together, clowns were literally $5,000 to $10,000 a piece.
Damn.
And I could have made 20 grand by breeding them together, or 25. I bred my clown to a firefly to make firefly het clowns back when it made no financial sense to do so. But in the end, that sort of mentality was vindicated in the end, even though I wasn't some kind of crazy mastermind. I didn't foresee how it would go. I just knew what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what these looked like.
Let me ask you this, Justin, and in the caliber you're at with making snakes, I mean, you're making stuff that nobody's making, right? So how much thinking do you do into pricing your animals? Like, because it seems to me like you damn if you don't, to a certain extent, right? But like what are you? What's your technique with that, man? Because like, I'm not gonna lie, I happen to make a few snakes last year that I researched. Nobody could tell me that there's no documentation on it. So I had to be like, well, what do I price it at? Like, what do I do? Right. So obviously I'm in no caliber where you're at right now, but I'm just curious, bro, because you got some serious stuff going on. It's a lot of dream stuff, but obviously it's stuff that like you got to really understand the investment behind the stuff that you're making. I respect it. Like honestly, I mean, like there's maybe a couple people I could count on like 2.5 fingers on who I would spend that kind of money with, and you're one of them. Ozzy's one of them, and hit or miss with Miguel. I don't know. It depends on my mood with him.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, kind of tell me, man, what's your technique with that, or how much thinking goes into that?
Yeah. Well, it's a combination of a couple things. And the first one, I guess there's two main things that I look at. And the first one would be, what are some things that are on the market that are maybe of comparable, there's such a wide variety. You can't look at, straight. You can look at, it's like, what's something on the market that maybe would be of equal caliber or of equal interest in the market or of equal value to what the future is of the market, and then look at where that's at. That just as a general guide, you start there. But the main thing I use across the board is, what would I want to pay if I was the buyer? That's what I ask myself.
Right.
Because I know that I'm savvy, and I know in a way that maybe I wouldn't pay crazy prices for stuff, because I have, I've been around the block enough times to kind of see what things should be. And so in my mind, I look at a project and I think, well, hey, what if I was on the other side of this computer screen? What if I was looking at this out on Morph Market and I saw that snake? What's the price that would say, oh yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to be way above that. And obviously I don't want to leave money on the table either. I want to kind of fit that sweet spot. So it's probably 80 to 90% of what I do. If there is no direct comps to look at, I look at, hey, what's similar in the market? And then what would I realistically, feel good about at the end of the day if I was to pay for that animal?
And then, I mean, to be honest, how often do you have to list something? Like, okay, let's say it's something groundbreaking you're selling, right? Like, magma or something, just something ridiculous. I don't know, something nuts that you're selling, right? I mean, for the most part, can you even list that thing before it's sold? I mean, I feel like you talk to people and you almost give them an insight like that. Hey, look, this is probably going to go. I know JP's waiting at your door every day for something that you want to get rid of. And then the one, Miguel doesn't pick up too many snakes, but when he does, it's from you. So it's like, and you don't have any issues with even whatever you price it at a respectable price because you do it to where like, okay, I would pay for this if it was me, right? But they're gone. Like, so that's obviously you're pricing them right, because if you weren't, you probably have a little bit more turnaround as far as selling them and stuff, and you don't have no turnaround time. It's gone. They're gone.
And the thing is a lot of times I think I could price things higher than I do sometimes. But I always asking myself again, if I charge more for the customer than I would want to pay, maybe even if it's still the person's happy to pay more, can I really look that person in the eye, the next year, if that project doesn't go forward very far, or if it's not that great or whatever? I want to know that person doesn't feel like, like I took advantage of them. That's important to me. Because, I've been doing this now for almost 18 years. And we have a lot of the same customers from the beginning all the way till now, because I do want to try to make sure that as much as I can, to my knowledge, I'm fair with them as much as possible. So, but you're right, a lot of stuff doesn't ever make the market per se. There are people I'm talking to, and it's not necessarily all customers that I know already. It's a lot of people will message and say, hey, what do you got coming right now? Or what do you have in a week? And I'll be like, well, I got this hatching in a week. Great. Can you send me pictures when they hatch? Sure. And then the snake ends up selling to some person I don't even know. But it was all done without going onto Morph Market or anything like
that. So Morph Market, let's kind of talk about Morph Market. You've used it since, because how long has Morph Market been around? I'm a noob, so I mean, in a sense, so Morph Market's been around for how long now?
Maybe 3 years. Maybe 4.
Oh, so it's that fresh. So 2017.
It's pretty fresh. Yeah.
So the ball python calculator that everyone geeks out on when they're first in this hobby. I mean, I still geek out. Like when I see a snake ovulate, I'll go back and just calculate things, even though I already know what the odds are going to be or what the. But it's just it's so fun to use the ball python calculator. I don't care if anyone wants to anybody wants to roast me for that, kiss my ass. But the ball python calculator is so sick. But anyways, I mean, has that been a huge help for you as far as getting rid of snakes? The Morph Market.
The calculator?
No,
I don't.
No. I'm talking about
just Morph Market in general. Sorry. Yeah. Morph Market's been huge. Now, I did sell all my snakes every year before Morph Market. So in that sense, it didn't change like the business in that sense, but it's been huge because now I would say, I couldn't tell you the exact percentage, but a fairly large percentage of my sales are made on Morph Market. So it has taken over the industry and become the place. It used to be so fragmented between Facebook and King Snake and Fauna Classifieds and different people's websites, and Morph Market kind of coalesced all that into one place, and it's been really good for the industry. It's been really, really positive.
Have you ever posted anything on King Snakes?
Yeah, I used to post on King Snake all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you do? You still use King Snakes?
No, not anymore, but I used to before Morph Market. Yeah.
All right. So 18 years, I heard you mention breeding snakes. Is that how long you've been doing this full time without a real job or like a 9 to 5?
No, it's been about 10 years now, approximately full time.
Okay. And then your wife, right? So what is your wife? Does she have a 9 to 5 or is she just like full time killing it as a mom? What does she got going on?
Yeah, she has a 9 to 5 as a mom, and I try to take over at 5. And yeah, but no, it's a full-time job for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
She when our second one was born, she became a stay-at-home mom. She's an awesome lady. So, and really without her, Jay, this wouldn't exist at all, because every step of the way, when I was nervous about taking the next step, she was always pushing me to do it. Even when,
Oh man,
like I said, it was not it wasn't a done deal at all that it would be successful. She was always behind me.
I always mention that out like on the podcast anytime I can, man. Shout out to the ladies right there backing any guys up on what they're doing
Yes.
in this, because without that, it's going to be nearly impossible. I'm telling you, you're going to be miserable. So look at Justin, man. Justin's had even somebody pushing him, and shout out to my wife. My wife is in the comments, and honestly, man, I'll tell you right now, when I had only 2 snakes, I think the first thing I showed her was your emoji snake, and then I was looking at a pied. I think the pied was like $500 something, which at the time I was like, I would never in my mind think I would buy a snake like that. And I remember she kept catching me staring at it on a phone, and then she's like, why do you always stare at that snake if it's for sale? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I can never see myself buying it. And then she ended up like, I think it was Christmas, but she ended up going half on it, and like she helped me get that snake, and it was like my first pied, and I was like, I can't believe I have this snake, like, and it was like something awesome. But she helped me make that an accomplishment, and it led into everything else. So shout out to your wife, man. Your wife is amazing. What's your wife's first name?
Joy. Yeah,
Joy.
She's amazing.
All right, let's just go down the list of the whole Kobylka family. Okay, so we have Joy, right? And then your eldest is a daughter, or is your boy?
So I have a son named Grayer. He's 12. And then we have a son that we adopted from China. He is 11.
What's his name?
Yeah, he's turning 12 soon. It's Archer.
Archer. That's a cool name.
And
Archer.
Yeah. Then we have a daughter who is 9. Actually, she just turned 10, Aaliyah.
Oh, what?
And then we have a 9-year-old daughter named Julia, who we also adopted from China. She's awesome. And then all the way down from 8 down to 0, just turned 1, is our newest baby, Wilder. So we have 5 total. Yeah.
Cool name.
And he came out with red hair and blue eyes, so we got double recessive on our last one.
You hit.
We hit the odds. They were 1 in 8. I know what the odds are. We got it.
Yeah. That's a holdback for sure.
We got a 3-egg clutch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like a 1 in 32 chance, I think. I just calculated on Ball Python calculator. That's awesome. Family's everything to me, man. Like I said before, as I was following you, I did notice how low key you were, because I was talking to Ozzy about this, and Ozzy, as well as you guys are like you guys are the most well-known breeders in this hobby who don't put themselves out there all the time on social media. Not on the stories active every day. That's kind of how I am. That's my personality. Miguel's like that. There's a lot of others who have that personality, but you're more on the laid back side, right? So basically, what the hell was I going with that? I had something I was going with that, and my mind just blanked. That happens to me a lot, and it pisses me off. Oh wait, no, what was I gonna say? Anyways, shit, that pisses me off. I was going with something with that. Okay, let's talk. Oh yeah. Oh no, your family, right? Okay, that's what I was getting at. I'm sorry. So the one thing that drew me to you is the fact that you're super low key with what you do on a day to day, but then the family is a huge part of what you do as well, like the family involvement, right? And that's what motivates me. That's what motivates me a lot too, because I'm a big family guy. I hope to have my own like little rascals running around someday. But I feel like having some sort of having that push helps everything else in motion, right? Because what's the big reason behind JKR, the brand, right? The family behind it, right? I'm sure the family is probably more than half of the reason why you do things. Am I wrong? Am I right?
No, you're right. You gotta have something you're doing it for. You gotta feel like it's for a bigger cause other than just yourself. So it's for sure. It's huge.
Now, as far as the young ones, right? Is there anyone that you see that's going to carry your legacy? The one that's like trying to carry the torch? Like, do you see any?
So of the ones that are talking, we have my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, 10-year-old. I would say, and she has the most interest in. But On the other hand, I think that part of the reason I was so interested in it is because my parents were scared. Like in a way, anything your parents do for a living becomes too normal. And so I'm not sure in the end if it'll be a situation where one of them takes over or not. But my daughter, she does love the snakes.
That's awesome. Does she have any does she have any friends or anything that she brings around that are like kind of like into the snakes too, or is she kind of like, like the oddball because she loves snakes?
She's definitely the odd one. She loves, the thing is she just loves snakes. She loves every creepy crawly. She had a grasshopper themed birthday because she would catch grasshoppers and she'd
So
smear the little
cool.
black stuff on her, and like that's my kind of girl right there. That's what I did as a kid. So really, really cool.
When did you and Miguel meet? Can we talk about that? When did you guys, when did you guys collab?
I remember that conversation really well. He called me out of the blue, and just one afternoon he called me, and he said he was looking for a few snakes, and he wanted to do it as a family project. He wanted to do it as a family is a big thing to Miguel too, and that's
Yeah.
really awesome. But that's what he struck me as a really genuine guy who was big into family. And initially, he didn't buy really high end stuff. Like anybody getting into the industry, you kind of got to get your feet wet, and he bought some pretty interesting things that and he's like, what should I do? What should I do? So I tried to set him up with some stuff that wasn't super expensive. But then he was like, well, you got anything else? You got anything better than that? You got anything better than that? I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe.
Wow.
So that's kind of how it got going. He had good taste. So
Sounds about it. Sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, as far as customers to begin with, right? Your share of dealing with customers, bad apples, good apples, right?
Yeah.
What's your, how do you, Justin, you don't, it doesn't seem you get phased by much, right? But, have you had a customer in your life that just happened
Yeah.
to be
I know
entitled,
one. Yes.
due to the money he gives you or money he spends with you, almost to the point where he treats you like shit? Have you had to deal with stuff like that?
A little bit, but I find I think my um, philosophy of dealing with customers is just to really set good boundaries with them early. You don't know if they're going to be a nightmare customer or a customer that expects way too much from you,
Yeah.
or amazing. You just don't know what they're going to be like, and so I try to at the beginning set good boundaries if I can. I've learned that over the years of what to expect and how things are probably going to be.
Yeah.
And I do want to help a lot, but honestly, I help more than people are usually willing to accept help. I find that most people don't actually want. They have their own ideas about how to do things, and they don't necessarily listen to advice.
Yeah.
And I really can't fault them for that because I didn't listen to advice, and it worked out great. And so who am I to say? Who am I to say that they don't have the best ideas for the next phase? That maybe I've gotten too old to recognize it now.
Yeah, teach their own.
I definitely don't believe that I've arrived or that that the industry's not going to change enough that new ideas aren't necessary.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Relationships that are built in the beginning, in a hobby like this, they seem not to always work out right. Especially where you're at, bro. The more money, more problems, right? More fame, the more haters. It's just how it comes with it, right? Have you been have you been unfortunate to have to lose some good relationships with people because of your success and where you're at right now?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's happened. And it's really hard. There pretty much every relationship I've lost over the years, I wish it went that way. I really do. Even now, it's like not like I don't think about it. But not, people are people, and it's rare to find a person who, I don't know. I think that's really what it comes down to is boundaries, I guess. You got to know that that we may be friends in this hobby, and I have some really good friends in this hobby, some really good ones. But you have to have, in fact, I was just talking to one of them about today, you have to know that you have to have friendship has to be to it. At the same time, you're both have your own businesses. And the businesses, although we'd love to say they never compete, they do compete. And there has to be an understanding that, yeah, we may be friends over here, but at the same time, we're not going to go out of our way to hurt each other, but we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take care of what we need to take care of in our own business, our own families, and know that that is out of balance from everything else.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of misunderstandings kind of occur is in that realm. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And in a way, I've kind of come to realize that most of my best friendships are probably going to have to be separate from the business in that sense, just because of where I'm at in it. And yeah,
that's the only practical thing, to be honest, because I mean, if somebody, let's say you have somebody you're best friends with, somebody you're good friends with, and you're in a partnership that's in a business and a caliber that you're in right now, right? If one person feels like they're on the shorter end of the stick, they take it personal. It's all personal. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, business is business. It's not personal. But when people can't leave their emotions at the door, when they walk into the building every day, you know, and they don't know how to make business decisions and understand business decisions, that's when the personal comes in, and that's what ruins everything. And humans are humans. People feel certain ways. And, you know, I felt on the shorter end of the stick in certain situations in my life before, and I didn't feel so good. I've even done rational things where I've, you know, even said, forget it. But it's tough, man. It's really tough. At the end of the day, you know, whatever I mean, I feel like what you're in right now, you could have awesome relationships with people. Yeah, you're my best friend. You're my homie. You could have all these, you know, Instagram friends. But at the end of the day, you're in this for one reason, and that's your own brand. That's your own business. It's nothing personal. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. You know, what are you going to do? It's part of life. You just need to understand.
You know, and I've had plenty of people who burned me over the years in different ways. And I try to rationalize it in the sense that I know that, again, they're rightly or wrongly, they're trying to do what makes sense in their world at that moment. You know, it's got nothing to do with me personally. They're not trying to screw me. They're trying to help themselves.
Yeah.
Which I get that, you know, it's not personal, but
you though,
it does. But then like, I look at it, I try to practice, you know, extreme ownership in the sense that if I get screwed, if something bad happens to me, I say, well, what should I have done differently to prevent that in the future? You know, I try not to look at it as they did that to me. You know, that doesn't mean I'm gonna let them do it again, but I try to be about my own business as much as I can.
You got to be about your own business, because, I mean, shit, man. If you're not about your business, no one else is going to do it for you. So that's why sacrifices always.
That's right.
Sacrifices will always have to be made, and because of the sacrifices Justin made, he's JKR. Like, that's basically, at the end of the day. Yeah. You made player moves, and, you know, shooters take their shots, bro. And you've been taking your shots for a while now, which, you know, I commend you for. Everyone's, man, you got so many people that look up to you out there. It's ridiculous. You know, and that's basically just because you're passionate in what you're doing. You're constantly coming out with shit that people are just, and what's crazy, Justin, I'm going to say right now, all the things that you see on this man's Instagram does not serve it justice until you see it in person. You need to go to a show. You need to go find out where Justin's set up at. And this guy is so nice. Okay, he will give you the time of day. Can we just talk about the first time we met at Pomona? What I did? Do you recall what I did? How I wasted about 8 minutes of your time? Do you remember that?
I don't remember you specifically, so tell me about it.
Okay. So you're on. We met. You're like, hey, what's up, MJ? You're totally cool. And then you're on. We set. You know, I at your table. Then you're on your way to the bathroom, and I was like, hey, Justin, can we vlog real quick? I just want to ask you a few questions. And you're like, yeah, man, sure.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
We ended up talking for. It could have been like a good 10 minutes, and then when I'm finished, I hit the button, and it wasn't recording the whole time. Do you remember that?
I do. I remember that. That's hard to forget. That's funny.
I was like, wait. It wasn't recording. And you're like, and I felt I was not going to have you redo I was just so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God. But you're like, we'll do it again. You're like, we'll do it again sometime. And oh my God, that was my first one-on-one with Justin, bro. So that's just, I will take that forever with me. That was funny.
I remember my first snake shows, and some of my biggest idols in this industry didn't give me the time of day. And I've always remembered that, and I've always, thought that maybe the person I'm talking to was just like me, and just wants to wants to be heard for a second, and I try to give that to each person I can, because I've been there on the other side of that many times for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad. And this hobby does make me feel like that. Like, I always talk about my career before. My hobby before this was DJing. Like, I'd go and play like these events, like festival type events, right? And the love you'd get from people just from playing music is awesome. Like it's like you just get all this love for playing music. So I kind of get that same feeling in this hobby, when you kind of build a following for so long, and then you finally go to shows and people give you love, but it's like stuff you can relate to, because you're like, well, hey, show me what you got going on. And it's such a reward, such a reward feeling. Like this hobby is so great because it doesn't make talk. I mean, for me, at least, it's not awkward talking to people, because I'm already an outgoing person, but I'm always trying to learn. I want to know what people are into. I want to know what they're messing with. Because, this is something where, everyone has some sort of thing they're cooking up, but there's always a missing ingredient. You never know when you're getting to that secret ingredient that you're looking for. But not only that, it's so cool to put so many Instagram accounts to faces in person and whatnot. And like I said, the love is amazing, man. Tinley got shut down. I flew all the way to Chicago. I got to stay with Ryan McVeigh for the first night, but man, the love that I got from them and the people I met that I didn't even know followed me, and I realized, hey man, these are really cool people in the hobby. Just like that, it just makes any trip like that worth it. So I always try to encourage people all the time, man, get to a show, especially if somebody like Justin's there. I know Ozzy doesn't vent too much, but when Ozzy, you just, anytime you get a chance to see these guys in person, you got to go. I'm telling you right now, it's worth it. Plan a trip. It's like, you want to go to Disney World.
Such amazing community.
Yeah, for sure. The community is amazing. And it's just because it brings everything together, and it's just so much fun. So that's one thing that just really stands out to me in this hobby, and thankful for it in so many ways. Now, Justin, you don't have a YouTube, right? I mean, or were you? What's up with your YouTube? You do have a YouTube, right? I'm sorry, you do have a YouTube. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're on there. We're not posting as often as we should these days, but we're on there. Yeah.
Were you the one behind editing and stuff? Your YouTubes? Did you have somebody do it for you? Because I know I
do all that.
You do all that.
No, I do all that. I enjoy that part of it a lot. I guess the only tough part is that I rarely have the time to actually do it, but I actually enjoy the editing a lot. The technical side of it is a lot of fun for me.
I like it too. I just recently learned like the basics, but I see like people, I see like really cool people's, editing skills, and it makes me very like anxious to want to learn it. But it's something where like the more you do it, the more you'll pick up on things, but you just have to put in the time. And video editing is tedious. It's freaking head wrenching. Like, it's like, oh my, but it's almost addicting too. Like you said, I like it. Like especially if I know what I'm doing and I know how to like edit, like I get into it. You know what I mean? But it's also, if you don't know how to do it, I think that's where people kind of run. That's the block. Yeah, that's the blockage people hit, because I was just over at the Barchek's, right? I visited Brian Barchek, and one of his ex-employees, Eric Chambers, really nice guy. This guy's so amazing, dude. I don't know if you know who he is, but his name's Eric Chambers. He has his collection's pretty awesome. He has bought a little bit of everything, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel. And he just came from, Barchek puts out YouTube channels every single day, and he was a part of that. So I'm like, how do you not have your own theme by now? Like, how are you not like, you know what I mean? So,
it's not for everyone. Yeah.
No, well, his thing, his block was the video editing. It's not like he would love to do it, but he didn't know how to get through that video blocking. Right. That's the problem. But he figured it out. We gave him a push, and now he's putting stuff out. You know what I mean? And as long as you make yourself learn, if you just put yourself through the test, challenge yourself, make yourself learn, I'm telling you, things will start coming along. You know what I mean? You'll start getting better at things, you know, little by little. That's kind of just how it works, right?
And you don't have to do it. Yeah, if you look at my videos from when it started, there was no editing at the beginning, right? Just posting whatever I took.
Yeah.
So that's how you start. And, you know, the nice thing is that when you get started, no one's watching anyways for a good while. So
exactly.
So learn away, you know.
And don't care about who's watching. Just keep putting it out there too. People.
Right. That's true too. Yeah.
People expect too much too
People
soon.
are very forgiving. Yeah. Yeah.
So people expect too much too soon. They want 1,000 subscribers right off the bat, and then they even it's just like you just gotta just accept the process. You know what I mean? Just enjoy it.
For sure.
So let's talk about shows, right? You've been vending shows. I guess we talked about you being at Pomona. What's your experience with shows? You've been going to shows since like since the early 2000s, or like what's your whole
2002, 2003, maybe it's when I went to my first reptile show. And I started my first reptile show to vend was 2007 in Daytona, actually. And I did a few shows early on, but then I actually stopped doing shows for about 6 or 7 years. I didn't do a single one. And that was kind of through that building zone of of my collection. I don't know why. I just was internet only, and it was kind of a big leap. But then it was probably been about 6 years ago that I started back with Tinley. Tinley was became the big show to be at, and I thought, man, it comes a point where it almost feels wrong to not give people a chance to put these animals out there and come see them in person. Like what we're following online. I thought, like, man, it's almost selfish to stay at home. It came to that point, even if, for sales, didn't need them because online sales were so good. But it's been, that became such a wonderful experience of seeing people and talking with the animals in person, and just, it became such a wonderful thing that we just kept it going. It's been, every Tinley for many years now.
I feel like the biggest asshole now, because I just always thought to myself, like, as long as I could sell animals online, I'll never need to vend for no reason. Like, why would I need to vend? But what you just said,
comes a point where you
just said, Justin, is so like eye-opening, because like you just don't want to be selfish with it. You're like, man, I have all this nice stuff, and honestly, that would be super goals for me someday, is to vend just so I could show people my stuff. Not because I need the money. It's not because I need to sell out.
Right.
It's because, look, I know how much people love how bad people want to come see it. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, when you see Justin's display, like, Justin's in the building. His display is lit up. It's like a WWF event. Yeah. It's super lit up. It's awesome. It's like the displays are on point. I love being around Justin's stuff, man. And then, like I said, the dude's amazing. You could come talk to him, as long as he's not busy, you could come talk to him. If he's making a sell, respect it. Other than that, if he's not, he will show you his animals, and I've seen this in person. It's amazing. Yeah. So I'm really stoked that you're going to shows, man. That's that's something I just learned. I really take back me saying I'll never vend. I hope I get to vend someday, just because I know people want to see.
There come a point where you feel like, man, after a while, you'll feel like you owe so much to the community. For all the success that you've had over the years, and I think definitely you're either there or you will be there, where you just feel like a certain obligation to them to do it. So, yeah,
that's so cool. So let's talk about can't we even talk about shows right now with this stupid coronavirus? I mean, we don't even know when the next Tinley is. They're saying June. That's probably bullshit. I mean, who knows?
No. We'll see if it clears up at all. When that's even possible.
Anyways, we won't talk about that right now. Now, I will say right now, I wanted to wait to talk about this, but you keep my dream species. Most recent dream species you picked up from Nerd. I think you got it from Kevin, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Bowlings. Yeah.
God, what is your deal? What are you doing with those? I want to know right now. What's the mission, bro? I'm
just enjoying them. Yeah, for now. But I mean, I'd love to breed them, but I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay. You're playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to breed them, certainly. That's why I got a pair, just, so I could. But I don't know, honestly, I don't know the first thing about how to breed them or anything. I've got them, and I'm just enjoying them. And, I don't know how many years. I don't even know how old they're gonna have to be in order to breed them. I just enjoy them. At some point, it's gonna become clear, like, hey, now's the time. But and maybe I'll look into how to do it. Maybe someone will figure it out a little better by then. But yeah, they're amazing.
Oh man, it's so I was kind of like my eyes was like, oh dude, he's up to something. Like, because I mean, it would just be awesome. It would be just awesome if a few what 5-6 years down the road, all of a sudden you got those locked up, man. I mean, it just, but to be honest, like you said, that's something where you don't even care if they breed or not. You just have those to have those. Right. Like you're enjoying the crap out of those. And that's a super huge bucket list snake for me. I'll tell you that's numero uno. That and a bison, emerald tree boa bisons. I don't know if you've seen those, but Nerd has those as well. You like arboreals at all? Are you into like green trees or anything like that?
A little bit. I think they're cool, but I will plead a lot of ignorance on all the permeations of them in different localities and all the stuff that people know that are really into them. I don't know all that.
Oh yeah, there's some chondro stiffs out there. They got their nose up like that, and if you don't label something right, oh man, no, they're on you.
Hey, I respect that. I respect the fact that they care that much, though.
The reason why I respect it because they keep a lineage or something that you're mislabeling, and they either have a lot of money into it, and they're like, or they've worked with it for a long time. So I could totally see that, but they come at you pretty heavy, especially in Facebook.
Right.
It's no joke, but so sick, man. You got the Bolins going on. You keep anything else other than ball pythons in the Bolins?
So I have this really cool pair of Cape file snakes that I just love.
Cape file snakes?
So file snakes, right? So they feel like they got real rough scales, like shark skin. You know those crazy, you see them on Facebook every so often, or pictures of them, like those, they call them dragon snakes. They're real small. They look big, but they look crazy, like dragon.
Yeah.
That's probably, right. It's probably the most similar to that you can get that's just easy to keep. So I got a pair of those from South Africa, and they're rodent eaters, which is a huge thing to have a rodent eating pair. And they are just the coolest little things. Their skin it feels like it's going to cut you. It's like sharp. It's amazing. I'd love to make some of those and sell those someday.
And you have a pair, you said.
Right. Yeah.
And how are they? How old are they?
I mean, that's just really kind of for fun. I mean, they're about a year old, a year and a half old. They're doing really well. It's all kind of on the back burner compared to the ball pythons. They're just growing them up and enjoying them.
So let's talk about something else you're enjoying, like your brand new facility that you built.
Yeah.
What's going on with it, buddy? That thing is so fresh. I cannot believe how fresh that thing is, man. And you, because I do recall you putting out YouTube footage on you building the building and stuff like that. You did put stuff out on that. Probably one of your last ones, I think, that you put out, right? Or I can't remember, but I do know you put.
We did a tour, yeah.
Okay, the tour.
Yeah.
So what's you that was for snakes and rats, or just the rodents? I can't remember.
So we have both the rodents and the snakes under the same roof now for the first time. So it's all together. They kind of have their own special wing that's disconnected from the rest of the building. But it's working out well. I was always afraid to do that for smell reasons or whatever. But no, it's been amazing. This is the third facility we've built from the ground up now, and just very, very, very thankful to be in a place to kind of be able to like create like without limitations. It's like, what do I want? Not what can I afford, but what do I want? What's the best it could be? If I could imagine everything, perfect, how would it be? And that's such a fun thing for me. Like I enjoyed that process a lot.
Hell yeah. That sounds like fun.
And yeah, it turned out amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, geez, man, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of stress behind it, but for the most part, like being the orchestrator, like you're in charge of what you want, and then to see it come to life and then to add stuff in it, man, that's pretty super goals, man. Everything we're talking about, I just want to live someday. And that's definitely one thing, you know, other than the Bolins, I want to just be like, you know what? I need to make a facility. All right, this is what I want. All right, this is where I need it. Boom, here it is.
Yeah.
So
it's an amazing experience. It's really, really cool. I want to do it again. So I got to work real hard and do it again someday.
I want to do it again. I want to get another pair of Bolins.
No, it was so much fun. And there's, I mean, I don't know necessarily yet what I'd improve, but it was so much fun. So yeah.
Are you a drinker at all, Justin? You drink beer at all, or do you prefer wine, or what do you drink?
So I probably have that. People will be surprised when I say this. I probably have about 2 beers a year. That's my only alcohol I drink.
On your birthday, New Year's, or like just you just...
No, it's just random. It's just random. Whenever, I don't know, it'll hit me, or with some friends or something. But I was raised with no alcohol whatsoever. So I probably didn't even have my first alcohol until I was probably 26, 27. And so it just never became part of my life, and therefore not really part of my life now.
It's a good.
It's kind of strange growing up in Napa so much, you know, Napa Valley with all the wine.
All the winos. So, no. I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's still like when I talk to people, they're like, "No, I don't drink." I go, "Man, good for you." Like, it's not. I don't think drinking. Yeah. I don't think drinking's a cool thing. Like, I mean, it's if you don't drink, I think that's pretty freaking awesome. To be honest, that you could, you know, not have anything to crutch on. You know, I don't drink nearly as much as I used to, but when I DJ'd and partied, I drank heavily, like I drink a lot.
Sure.
But you know, I drink moderate. I drink, you know, either way, I don't drink ever, you know, as much as I want. I would like to just not drink at all, period. I feel like that's my end goal. It's just not wanting to drink because, you know, and to be honest, drinking just makes me feel like shit. So I don't half the time I don't even know why I drink, to be honest. And I think that's a question you need to ask myself after this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a therapist, so.
But yeah, I mean,
I hear you.
You got enough motivation going on for you to where it's like, you know, fucking emoji snakes.
I'm addicted to snakes, I tell you. Yeah, I'm addicted to snakes. I literally feel like a low after hatching season is done, and we're in the winter right now in the breeding season. This is probably the worst time of year for me, emotionally, because I don't even think it's. I'm very patient. It's not even. It's more a matter of I was on such a high for all those months with everything hatching and all the crazy stuff that nothing can really compare to that. And so when that goes away, it's just you gotta start eating your vegetables again for a while. You know.
It's kind of, you there? Yeah, there you go. Sorry, a little glitch. It's kind of like going back to your square one, you know, like, okay, think about your first breeding season, the anticipation, right? You're just waiting, you're waiting. Now you're in a position where you know it's coming, you know what I mean? Something's coming, but you're still waiting. You're waiting. But if you could understand how to appreciate that waiting and love that waiting and understand where that waiting is leading to, I'm telling you, that's where you're going to go places with this. That's what you can't rush what the hell's happening. And there's even certain people who don't, you know, like you are breeding. I mean, how many snakes are you breeding this year? Would you say?
We're probably breeding about 250 females and hoping for 150 clutches.
Jesus. So 150. Okay, we're talking about 150. We're not talking about 150 clutches of super normals. We're talking about 150 clutches of some straight dank, some straight fire. Okay, so you have 150 clutches. You have 100. Okay, you have 250 possibilities, right? You said 250 females, right?
Right.
Okay, so 250 possibilities shooting for 150. When you're breeding, let's just say 5 females, right? Let's just say you're only breeding 5 females. You're a noob. You're somebody just coming up, or you're not even a noob. You just breed 5 females a year, you know, and your chances are of all 5 of those females of going, you know, I mean, they're good, but I'm just saying if they all don't go, you don't need to freak out. It's not because anything's wrong. It just it could happen. It could happen. And it's not anything that you're doing wrong. Or I mean, you should probably look into some things if it's a pattern, but for the most part, it's nature. It's part of the game. That's part of trusting the process. You know what I mean? And understanding that it might take some time. You know, yeah. So, All right, so that's cool. So 150 clutches, man. How many did you produce last year? How many clutches hit the floor last year?
Technically it was 199, but then I had one lay the day after, so counted that for last year, so to get around 200.
199, 200 clutches. And how big's your squad, bro? Like how many people you have working on your team? Well, obviously shout out to Chase, and really happy Chase chasing the cure, man. That was something so memorable. I mean, that was really huge impact on the hobby. I'm glad to see that guy's face. He has a really good smile. His smile makes me happy for some reason. He just is a guy. I'm sure the guy just brightens up your day a lot, man. We'll talk about Chase in just a minute, but your crew. Let's talk about the crew, right? Who's all helping you out with these 200 clutches? I know, and give us a little insight on that.
So we have Chase's full time. And then we have right now we have two part-timers. Names are Summer and Greg. Greg is our rat room extraordinaire. And both Summer and Greg came on when we got to the new building because we kind of had to, we lost an employee when we moved because he didn't want to move with us since we got some more local ones. But Greg is rat room. He's the first time we ever found a rat room guy who knew what he's doing, really took ownership of it. It's incredible. And then we have Summer who helps with cleaning, and she's also just really good with the animals. She's really good at one of the biggest things you can get in an employee is someone who's willing to be kind of your eyes on the ground and notice when something's off, notice when something's not right. Because I look at every snake every week, but it's usually in the process of breeding and feeding because I still do all that myself. But the person who is literally laying eyes on them and touching them and moving them and cleaning the cage, what are they noticing that's helpful to me? And she's an expert at that. She's been fantastic.
That's pretty awesome. So
there's four of us total. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Chase is like a Monday through Friday type deal, or does he have when does he pop in?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 usually, and he's in charge of everything facility related. So he's making sure that the process has gone through the week, from the cleaning, the feeding, that nothing falls through the cracks, that the building gets cleaned and organized, the supplies are on hand. And then he also takes care of all the shipping. So basically anybody who receives any animal, that shipment was packed by Chase or even merchandise or whatever. So he basically allows me to do what I do best, which is marketing, thinking about the pairings, IDing and going through, strategic stuff and all the stuff that I do best. So if I'm lucky, I get to clean some cages too.
I was gonna say, because look, at the end of the day, if you have the right employees, you're not doing anything. You become worthless. You become literally a worthless. Like if you're like that,
I don't want to be worthless.
No, I'm just saying, you have so many people doing what you should normally be doing that, like all you need to do is lock yourself in a room and go back to your blueprints. Go design some stuff. Like go figure out what you're gonna pair. Like, you know what I mean? Which we're gonna talk about in just a second. But so that's, listen, your crew is awesome. Whatever you're doing is working. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to the JKR crew. That's a well-functioning, well-oiled machine, and they're doing a hell of a job out there. So yes, that's pretty awesome. Real quick, let's talk about, man. Because you keep shocking people every damn year, Justin. Okay, you're coming up with some crazy shit. How there's artists or there's authors who you seen The Shining, right? He was trying to write a book and he locks himself out in a room or something to try to become creative. Do you do that, man? How do you create this stuff? What do you do you go away from it? Do you soul search, or do you you know what I mean? Tell me.
Yeah, it's a good question. What I do, to me, the spark of creativity comes at two times. Either when I'm about to fall asleep, that's when, a lot of times an idea will hit me just as I'm falling asleep, thinking about different stuff, pairings and stuff. But usually about 2 nights a week, from say 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., I come in here and I just literally stare at every female, every tub, and just think through. It's not even like It's pretty chaotic process. There's no real planning involved. I just kind of like look through and I try to imagine the results of every pair I have and what I'm doing, and then I think, am I excited about those results? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the best. And then I think through what my alternatives are, and I think, well, any of those results, any of those lead to something else. And I just try to imagine. But really, the best ideas or the best animals usually are not predictable.
Yeah.
In the sense, like for example, the Pompeii, it turned out insanely great, but I did not, and I knew it'd be cool, but I did not anticipate what it would be or how crazy it would be. And so I feel like in a way, it's just all about putting yourself in the position where the results can surprise you. That's my goal on every clutch. I want to try to create a position where the results are not necessarily really predictable. They could go in a weird way. They could combine in an odd way. And to me, that's, if you just do that enough times, you're going to have some real big hits, pop out. They'll surprise you.
So you're more of a get on base guy. You don't go to the plate shooting for a home run. You're just more like, look, we're going to hit something. And if it happens to be a home run, it's a home run.
Right. Exactly. And you have enough females that one of those ideas or a couple of those ideas are really going to pan out big. They're going to be great. But of course, odds dictate everything in this business, and you have to be respectful of those as well.
I know you have kids, right? You have a whole family, right? So there's, your plate's full. You got things running around, but how do you separate snake time, right? Because like you said, there's times where you're just thinking, right? There's times where you might wake up out of bed and you're like, holy shit, like I just had something mind-breaking. Is your wife cool with that? Or is she like, look, stop, like leave the snakes alone for a little bit. Like you need to chill out. Like, it's
a little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. She is cool with it. She really is. She's really cool.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that she doesn't ever get tired of it.
Right.
But I've found more balance. Yeah, I've found more balance as I've gotten further into this and a little bit learning to kind of operate from more of a state of rest instead of craziness, because when you own your own business or you're doing your own thing in general, especially I have this complex of nothing I ever do is good enough. It's no one can be more critical of me than I am of myself, put it that way. And that drives me further all the time.
100%. Yeah.
And because of that, it doesn't matter how big a sale or how crazy an animal or how good a video did. Nothing. I'm never happy with that. Like to me, like, okay, what's next? What can I do next? Like, and that having that mentality, and I'm learning this, can really put you into a state where you are almost frantically working at all times, because there's never a point in which stopping is an option for you, because you just created that culture.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn to be better at that. What I've learned, I guess, is to kind of learn that when I walk away from the building, just to turn off this part of me and focus on just the kids. And so I may not be present with the kids for a ton of hours a day, but I want to be fully present with them when I am, right? Fully there, hopefully put the phone down, right, for a few hours, which is hard because, it's so hard to when you can tell yourself, look, if I pick up my phone right now, I can make a sale for $5,000 or $10,000, or when you know that, there's never a reason to put it down, right? And if there's never a reason to put it down, then you've got no family life. And if you know family life, what are you living for? So it's one of those things that you have to learn at some point. Like, you have to choose your moments and be fully present in each part. When I'm in the snake room, I don't want to be thinking about my kids. I want to be thinking exactly what I need to be doing with these snakes. But when I walk away, I try to walk away for that period of time.
Yeah, you got to find some sort of like a balance, obviously. Just like, everything in life is about balance. You got to have something where you're not doing too much of one or the other. But like you said, man, like when you're so brand new into this, man, it's so hard. It's so hard because you're just like, like, man, you've been doing this for 18 years. I'm barely on year 2 of like breeding snakes and like, you know, getting people to ask me and getting inquiries and stuff like that, because, you know, it's just it's drive. I don't know. I don't mean anything, you know, because I tell my wife, all right, I'm putting my phone down. And then, you know, you'll see that one guy who came through with you know, who's ready. He has the money now. And you're like, oh, shit, I need to talk to this guy right now. I have to talk to him. Or who knows, he might come up with another excuse. And you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, my God. So
I know exactly what you're talking about. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's my life all the time. But you know what? You're in a place before you have kids and everything where that is what you ought to be doing to an extent, right? You're in a place where I believe when you're young and you have lower responsibilities in life, like, man, this is your time to go after it. You have the time later to slow down a little bit once you've built. You can't you can't take your foot off the gas for very long. Not when you're young. Because when you have a bunch of kids and you have a lot more responsibility, then
ball game.
You'll be forced to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So answer that email. Answer that text.
What was I gonna say? That's too funny. Most exciting pairings of the year. I mean, you don't have to give us too much, but what are some things? Is there anything that you could possibly hit that's going to create a new name?
Probably. I don't think of names in advance. You know, to me, it has to be so great that I feel like it has to have a name. So I won't know until I hit it. I don't know. I'm interested in more of the Magno stuff. You know, in fact, I had the super red stripe clowns to put on this table at Tinley. They were all ready. They were there in the boxes and ready to go. We still haven't shown them, so I need to get on that. But seeing some of those combos come out, more of those later in the year too. They're really cool. They're really cool. So we have some more of that from that project. I'm interested. I love the Desert Ghost Clown stuff. We're doing more of that. I'm really excited about where that could lead.
Where'd you, real quick? I don't mean to stop you, Justin. But how'd you get into Desert Ghost? What got you into Desert Ghost?
So I just do amazing. You know, I got in. I want to say it was like 2000. Boy, I couldn't tell you the year exactly, but it's pretty early on. I bought some from the Bells. They were like $6,000 or $7,000 a piece for visuals back then. And it was just so cool. I know. I'm glad I didn't wait though, because
if you don't wait,
it's become that must-have thing. So it's that must-have morph now. It's one of those ones that makes everything better. So I can't keep them in stock either. They sell like crazy. Everybody wants them. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, DGs don't last, man. And it's like reasons like the recessive, like Desert Ghost, is a huge reason why, you know, I'm a Kodam guy. Like I like recessives, don't get me wrong, right?
Okay.
But I feel like there's so much work that you could do with a Kodam, you know, if you're doing it right, you know, because, you know, I'm just
it's endless for sure.
It's endless. It's endless, right? And it's not going to cost. It's not going to cost a refinancement type of payment. You know, like you don't need I'm just saying, there's recessives out there that it's just like there's recessives that's like a serious investment to get into. Like if you want to, and I feel like people start off like they'll start into this hobby with $5,000 and $3,000 will go into the snakes, which is not a bad thing. That's awesome. If you want to do that, $3,000 is going into the snake, and then another $2,000 will go into let's say a vision rack or whatever the freedom breeder racks are, right?
Sure.
And they'll bank all on that, where versus if you could spread it out more if you were to go to the Kodam route, right? But I think at the end of the day, it's all in what you want to make. I just feel like there's so much untapped potential still with the Kodam stuff, and people are just so into like doing what's like, you know what I mean? It's just not the stuff that you're making. It's not not easy. It's not so easy to make. It's not something that's guaranteed. Like, hello, like there's odd. That's why they call it the odd gods. That's why they call it, you know what I mean? Like it's a gamble. You know what I mean? and you have so much stuff at
Yeah.
play where eventually you are going to hit something like, you know, Pompeii or Magnum, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
I don't know anywhere I was going with that. I'm just saying that's kind of why I like codoms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like codoms. I mean, I like recessives too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to put everything I have, especially in the beginning, you know, into just 2 snakes and hope to God, hey, look, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, I hope to God they give me that one snake I'm looking for. Where, you know, it's not even guaranteed that snake will breed. Like, you know what I mean? You're cutting your chances. I mean,
So you have that on one side.
Yeah.
With recessive. But on the other side, you have codoms that you buy them, and in 3 to 4 years, they're almost worthless when you breed them.
Right.
So that's the kind of the catch-22, and it's not like that's so what we found is that we've been doing this for long enough that we're starting to find out what the rules of the game are a little bit. That's it. Rules, not that we're setting the rules, but the animals and nature has set the rules, and the market has set the rules. And that being that recessives, because of the difficulty level, they're almost like mutual funds. They're just not going to be as volatile as the codon market. Okay. So, for example, you take a snake like the Confusion Acid Static Project. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a really cool codon, but it's fallen in value really, really fast because they're very easy to make. Right.
Yeah.
They're very easy to make. And so when I look at a codon like that, I get it in. I know there's money to be made just as a codon, but I know that there's a short window of which they will have a decently high value. And that's not dictated by me. It's dictated by human nature. We're going to make as many as we can. Everybody who buys one is going to make as many as they can and sell them for as high as they can, but it's going to come low because of volume.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I think, okay, I have 30 grand into the Confusion project. How do I make that good, long term? And I think, well, I can make a crap ton of them and try to clear it in 1 year. But that's everybody else is going to be doing that too, and it's going to be really hard to keep up with that. It's going to be a challenge. I'll have to try to match prices as they fall, and everybody's going to be upset at you, and everybody's going to think that you're tanking the project. Or me having the visibility I have, I get a lot of blame for what everybody else is doing too. So instead of going that route, I think, okay, so I can take and as opposed to trying to like scoop up the value now, I'll just put it into these recessives. And I know that in 2 years or 3 years, I'll make, we just made the first Confusion Lavender. We made the first Confusion Clowns last year. Those, even though the Confusion project has dropped a lot, those still have good value because of the difficulty level involved in them. And so in a way, you're insulating your investment and taking it out over time, as opposed to joining the rat race of falling prices. So that's the kind of the different ways of looking at how to take those projects long term and try to keep value in as much as you can. We have a market that is constantly looking for what's new, what's new and what's rare and what's special, and that's not going to change. So you find out how we're going to operate within those parameters, as opposed to, you never hear me complaining about the market, because I believe that the market is the way it is, and I have to adjust myself accordingly.
So you're right. I don't ever hear you complaining about anything, Justin. But you hear other people complaining?
Yeah. A little bit.
I mean, how do you deal with that, man? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen recently.
I don't listen to it.
I've seen recently a pretty well-known breeder react pretty harshly towards you over pricing that you've done on a certain morph, and it threw me off a little bit. It threw me off, and I didn't understand it. And I was just like, what's going on? And it seemed a little bit more than just pricing. It just seemed like it was more personal, to be honest.
Oh, it's personal. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we get it. We were talking about business and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But what the hell, man? I mean, I don't understand. If you're the mastermind, or if you're behind making something, and you could price it the way you want to price it. What's the problem with that? I don't understand. What's the big issue behind pricing something that you made yourself and you feel like, hey, look, this is what, like you said,
Right.
you think to yourself, if I was somebody who wanted, if I was a customer and I want to look at this snake, this is what I would pay. That's
Right.
That's all respect in the world.
That's how I look at it.
That's how you look at it.
And I have, right. I believe other people are entitled to their opinions about how prices should be.
Right.
And I don't feel like I'm the end all decision maker on that. And I don't think me pricing an animal or a project dictates what that project is worth. I don't, because I believe this market is big and dynamic, and the market decides. I don't want to leave a lot of money on the table. Believe me, if I can sell something for 10,000, I mean, to be more specific, I wouldn't. Why would I ever sell for 65? I certainly would want to keep as much value there as possible. But I just don't feel like, I feel like everybody's entitled to price things where they want. And this particular person you're talking about is not in the market, in the sense of they're not actually putting their skin in the game online to where anybody could dictate, like go out there and be out there, and show what you think about it, right? And let people decide.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Well,
if you want to sell a $10,000 snake, then make a snake that people are willing to pay $10,000 for, and put it out there and sell it. Go for it. That's good for everybody when you do that.
Don't be pricing other people's cakes. You know what I mean? You didn't make the damn thing. Can't be just, you know what I mean? You gotta just,
yeah. And when you get to a certain point, right, everybody thinks that there's some diabolical reason behind everything. Like somehow I'm some mastermind and I'm trying to pull strings and make things go up and make things go down and try to hurt people's projects and help people's projects. And they realize is I just want to make cool snakes, and believe me, I got plenty on my plate without worrying about what other people think about different stuff and where things should be. And it doesn't even register on my scale. So
not even computing. It's not even.
I don't have time, unfortunately.
The shutter.
There's so much positivity in this world that I can't let all those people in my head. I don't have time for that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a lengthy question. I want an in-depth question on this, because I'm sure a lot of people will want to know what your insight is on this. Okay, so I'm gonna put the screen on you, and I want to know the length question on the most untapped genetic out on the market right now. Okay, and why you feel like it's important for people not either to jump on
Untapped.
it or just to respect it. Okay, so Justin's thoughts. Shoot it.
Right. All right. Most untapped. So I can't talk about anything that people already know is awesome. That makes it a little bit more challenging. For me, I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm putting my skin in the game, like exactly what I think is really, really, really cool. And that is, I love that lace and white lace project. And I've talked about this previously as well, because in a way it kind of, they're so beautiful, especially the white lace is so beautiful. And it kind of acts like a Kodom desert ghost. How we all love the desert ghost so much. If we can make that effect, even if it's only 2/3 as much or whatever, in a Kodom, we can just take all these morphs to a different level even sooner. And not just that, it also gives us the ability to stack it. We can do the white lace desert ghost combos, and then we have like double good. So I'm super in love with that project. Definitely working it takes time to get this stuff to fruition. But that one, I love the redhead. I'm working that project. I actually made a discovery on the redhead project about 2 months ago that was just mind-blowing to me, like a certain combination. And I actually had that again to show at Tinley, and it didn't get seen. But I think that, yeah, I want to show it. Now I got to figure out the right way to show it now. Because to me, all these animals, they deserve so much. Like, they deserve all your effort in the presentation, because I don't want, like, they're so amazing that I want to make sure they get their due, you know, as much as I can. So I think the Redhead project is really, really cool, and we still have to find a super for it. But it's a unique gene in the sense that it does some things that other genes don't do, and that's what we're looking for right now, is something different and something that's going to change the way to go.
Now, what do you feel like? I mean, how does it feel to have such an impact on the red stripe, the red stripe gene? Like, you know, you brought red stripe back from the dead, they say, right? Like, I mean, that was pretty awesome. But like, you know, what does it feel like to be a part of that?
It was really cool. No, it was really cool. Yeah, from my perspective, I always loved the red stripe, and so I didn't understand why people were being crazy and not going for it. But you know, people need to be shown why they should care about something, which again goes back to that marketing and making sure the snakes have their dues. Because in the end, we're not doing the snakes any justice if we make something really crazy and then are real coy about it, or pretend like it's no big deal, or you know, or hide it. You know what I'm saying? If you do any of that, in a way, you're kind of withholding like the love of what we do from everybody else. Like, right, that's greedy, not in money way. That's greedy in a way that says, well, I'm gonna act like this is no big deal, when you can have so much impact on the market by just going out there and sharing.
Yeah, it backfired.
So that's what I love about. Right, it really backfires for sure, and it's not fair to the animals. It really isn't fair to the animals, because they're so ridiculously cool, and some of these projects are so ridiculously cool that they need a cheerleader. All they need is someone to go in their corner and be like, "These things are crazy," and they need, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about YouTube and some of these newer breeders that are coming up that are real social media savvy, like Miguel, and there's others too. Miguel is definitely kind of taking that corner, but that's such an amazing thing that they bring to the table, is that they have a big audience and they're sharing their love of the animals, and that's just, it's infectious. It's really awesome to see.
We had Miguel in the comments, and now that you just gave him a compliment, he's not in the comments. I'm pretty sure he
Oh,
just
he left.
Yeah, he probably heard what you said. We do have people up in the comments, so I don't know if you've been looking, you know, but you do have quite a bit of people in here. Super stoked that you're here. You have Brian Cusco here. I don't know what, that's random. He's normally not into any of my podcasts, but of course he's here.
Hey,
for
Brian,
you.
how's it going, man?
Dale Richards in the house. We did have Chris Sursery. Chris Sursery's, you know, I'll tell you what, that guy's talked nothing but.
Chris is awesome.
He's talked so much good game about you, man, from the beginning, and
he's a good guy.
Yeah, Chris has been a guy I followed from the beginning as well, and you were one of his mentors that time he was mentoring me. So I think it's all awesome how it all comes together.
For sure.
And you have, I mean, like I said, I've never had. You have such a huge following, man. Everyone supports what you're doing, and you are literally like, you're like the mad scientist right now, man. Like, you're literally the one creating stuff that's blowing people's mind. I call you the world heavyweight champ of the BP morph game right now, bro. Like, there's nobody doing what you're doing right now. Like, that's your title. Like, not even pound for pound. You're taking out the big dude, man. There's just nobody who's eye to eye with you right now, and you know, your work is showing it, right? So that being said, I don't know if you answered this because I didn't hear it, but is there anything possibly that you're going to make that's going to need a new name? And have you thought of that new name yet?
Oh, probably. No, I haven't. Probably there'll be something, but I won't know until I see it. You know, and there's probably a 50% chance that Chase will think of the name before me. He's a name wizard.
Chase is a thinker.
I'm pretty good at it too, but he's come up with a few of them now that are really good.
It's kind of like naming a dog before you get it. You can't name a dog until you actually see the dog.
Right.
Where, you know, then you're like, okay, yeah, it's a spaz, or it's a, you know what I mean? It's a, you know, whatever.
Right. The name has to be a description of what you see, right? When you see it, and not just that. It's funny because I like to just kind of watch the trends and watch what people do, but not every name that's given catches on. Some morphs probably shouldn't be named. And the market will tell you that by not using the name you picked.
Right.
So we've had that happen a few times too.
Yeah. So you know, as far as like snakes that are going to be made this year, how important is it to you that like there's certain clutch, like, you know, you have certain pairings, right? Like the most anticipated clutches, right? How many of those do you deal with each breeding season? Like, do you, I mean, like you said, look, we're all about getting your foot on base. We want to get on base, but do you have anything that's out there that it's almost like it almost messes with your sleep at night? You're almost like, shit, I need this to work out. Like, or not, you know what I mean? But you're just dying. Like, is there anything out there that you're dying to hit this year? Like where it could just really shock the whole freaking community. Like we're talking about like another Pompeii, another Magma. Like we're talking shaking everything. Is that kind of that is that in the thought process right now?
It is in a way, but I'm good at keeping my expectations low because again, it's you put in the work, but you cannot let your imagination go too wild with anticipation because I've just been down that road so many times, and either the most of the time you just miss is what it comes down to as far as disappointment. It's almost always just a miss. And so that's why we try to, if it's really, really, really critical, like just a few combos to me that I want to make this year that I feel like this is a must have. I've got to know what this does, and I can't afford to miss it because I don't want to come back next year and be trying to think of it and trying to do the same thing over again. That's what I don't want. You know, I want to know that whatever I'm losing sleep about, I'll see it and I'll put it to rest, yes or no, right?
Right.
So, but then odds is just the hard thing. And I always try to make sure that if I really, really, really care about it, I at least have at least a 1 in 4 to 1 in 8 odds to get it, either by in the one clutch or have enough clutches to reduce those odds by number of clutches down to I should probably see it.
Yeah. That's so heavy, bro.
So,
I just
a lot of math goes into this. So a lot of math. That's fun.
Do you guys ever hit a whiteboard? Like, is there ever a whiteboard session where you guys are just like, okay, boom, this is what, you know, this equals this, that equals that. This is what we're going to do. Like, you ever have like a fucking,
only on YouTube. No, it's all in my head otherwise. But you want to hear some mind-blowing math? This is really cool. So a lot of your viewers are certainly going to catch on to this. We all know that a double recessive is 1 in 16, right? If you go to a triple recessive, you quadruple it again, you go to 1 in 64, right? But to go to a quad recessive, if you were to go quad het to quad het, your odds would be 1 in 256 to get that quadruple recessive visual, right? So people, when they're thinking about, they think, well, that's ridiculous odds, right? How are you going to get a 1 in 256 out of, 6 eggs or 7 eggs, right? But the part that they're missing, this is where math is so beautiful sometimes. The part that they're missing is if you do, we just had our first quad het to quad het clutch this past year. Okay, I think we only had 6 or 7 eggs out of it, but it was the world's first, to my knowledge, quad het, right? So our odds of getting that quad visual will be 1 in 256, which is astronomical, right? And you can't even really fix that by having enough clutches. You'd have to have so many clutches that it just, not going to happen. But what's cool about the math is if you do a quad het to quad het, suddenly making a double recessive is no longer 1 in 16. It goes down to 1 in 4.
Whoa. So it's not much of a gamble.
Cool.
That's nuts.
Right. So the rule is it's 1 in 4 as long as you don't specify which double recessive. Okay.
Oh.
And it takes, right. So you'll get a double recessive. 1 in 4 will be a double recessive, which is great odds, right? We play those odds all the time. Now, if you do a quad het to quad het, your odds of getting a triple recessive goes from 1 in 64 all the way down to 1 in 16, as long as you don't specify which triple recessive. So you see how by these projects are so valuable. It's not about the odds on the crazy one that you're not going to hit. It's about what it makes possible. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's a really cool math trick.
That was very mind-boggling. You get your mind You know, you get
So
your
now
mind.
everybody's going to start working on quad heads. Yeah. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's really, really cool.
Quad heads, a new thing. So worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, talk about okay. I mean, I don't know why you haven't done this yet, but I'm pretty sure you're the king of the hashtag Hetflix, bro. Hetflix is hard. Where'd you get Hetflix from?
Yeah. So
Is
it
that
was actually a follower who suggested it to it. And I'm going to blank on their name yet, and they're gonna be frustrating me for not remembering their name here.
ooh, no
They
royal?
even came and visited and everything. But no, they suggested it to me, and it took a little bit of convincing. That they were like, "Oh, you really should use it." And I didn't see that the light for a little while, but then I started using it, and it was amazing. So,
I love it. Hetflix is pretty sick. I mean, not sure
Netflix,
why. Not sure why it's not understood yet, but
yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah, we'll slow on that apparently.
let me talk about your logo, man, because your design is pretty out of this world, bro. You sent me some stuff because I asked Justin, hey, can you send me some stuff for the thumbnail? And he sent me some stuff, and the gray one, though, the gray design one with the gray background. It's, I mean, do you have an artist or like who works on that stuff? Is that you?
No, I mean I have a little bit of design background, but not I couldn't make myself happy, put it that way. So I actually use a site called 99designs.com, which I think, through word of mouth has been used by a lot of people in this industry. And it's a site where you can basically go on and tell them what you want, and essentially like a contest where lots of artists from around the world can submit design ideas. And in the end, the money that you put up at the beginning goes to the artist that you choose. So that's how I got my logo that I have now. And then what I ended up doing is going back to that. I think it was that particular artist, or it was a different one, and said, "Hey, I want you to give me some like 5 variations on this logo with like like the one behind me, or the kind of the skeleton snake, and then the one we call the shatter snake, in different ways, like different ideas based on the general concept." And we paid that person well, and it's been really, really awesome.
That's pretty awesome because your logo is one of a kind. I'll say that it's
unique.
I'm into graphic design and stuff like that. I'm very picky with, especially when it comes to logo, your brand, right? Your brand's everything. It's what you represent. And yours is just so catchy, man. Like I think your shirt, I think this is your shirt was the very first apparel I bought for the hobby, I think, ever, because I was like, it just stood out to me. I thought it was awesome. So I think your logo is pretty dope. I'm not even gonna lie, and it's transitioning into something even cooler and cooler. So make sure you check out what he has, because you have your calendar for sale. I mean, everything's on your website. Am I right? Like if people wanted to go see what you had as far as
for sure.
All right, so everything's on your website.
Yeah,
I'll put that in the information in the description below. But yeah, man, really, really neat stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think is a huge part. Like I said, the guys, like he does ball python for, I think your ball python does probably do enough for your living, but like, you have the shirts going for you. You have a bunch of other, revenues in play to make sure that the ball pythons are good, right? You're not just all in on the ball pythons. What else do you have on the background?
I'm pretty much all in on ball pythons. No, we do a little bit of merchandise, but the way I look at it is just how I mean, it's just marketing, really, what it is. And we obviously make a little bit on the shirts and stuff, and I don't even know how much that adds up to, honestly. It's probably a little bit significant, but in the end, if we could just have everybody wearing the shirts at whatever it costs us, that marketing is worth it,
Oh, 100%.
for sure.
Work it.
Yeah,
I mean,
just having people. Yeah. And it's a cool design. It's a design that, when I made the shirts, I thought, what would I want to wear? Because I don't like things that are probably a little too crass or, like that sort of thing personally. So I thought, what would I want to wear that's cool, and it's snake, but it's not like in your face, crazy. It's artistic in a way, right? So that's kind of how we kind of went that direction. It's just for marketing, and it's cool to be. It's cool to see them at the show and see people wearing them and stuff. It's always a talking point. It's like, hey, nice shirt. And you can start a conversation with that.
Is there a number on how many Chasing the Cure shirts were sold? Because I swear to God, I still see at least 100 every show I go to. That shirt is everywhere. It's
I have
ridiculous.
to pull it up. Yeah, I want to say probably around 1,000 shirts total.
Oh, I was gonna say
Probably.
1,000. That's not bad. I feel like
that's my guess. I know initially we bagged up that first like week. I had all my kids down here. We were all doing it together. We bagged up close to 700 of them. Just that initial, 10-day pre-order period or whatever.
damn, that must have been a busy day.
But then we did a couple reorders as well. Yeah, it was fun though because we were all, for my kids, they're all friends, with Chase. He's like family,
Yeah,
and
their hearts, man.
right, and so it's their way of being kind of part of it too. They obviously didn't have any money to contribute, so they're just doing their part, and it was really, really cool.
That brought the community so much closer, man. I mean, it's unfortunate that something like that had to happen, but like it really just, I could see it brought like a lot of political things that were like weird at that time kind of just came down and people really came together. So I mean, I think that was a real inspirational
really cool
moment, and especially when Chase pulled through and saw him recovered. It was a fresh breath of air, man. Because I'm glad, I don't know Chase personally, but I do know how important he is to the JKR team, to your followers. Your followers fucking love him, dude. And I'm like, I love Chase. Awesome dude. I hope someday, but you could tell just the smile on his face. The guy's nothing but positive vibes. So
right,
we kept a good one. I'm happy. Thanks God. We appreciate that.
We're so happy to have him back. Yeah,
for hell sure. Yeah. So yeah, definitely it's good to have people like chasing the hobby, and it's definitely somebody to look up to. And man, he has a hell of a job, bro. I would kill for a job like that. I know it's busy. Don't get me wrong. I don't think his, it's not all peaches and creams, but man, I mean,
well, we work, but it is fun.
Man,
it's a lot of fun.
So real quick, the rats. Let's talk about the rats, right? Your rodents are just basically for your product, right? You don't sell rodents. Right. You don't have could you if you wanted to? Like, would that ever be a possibility?
Yeah, we do sell whatever we have extras. Like our goal is always just to produce enough for ourselves, but we never know how many our snakes are going to eat any given week, right? It varies throughout the season. Yeah. So we try to just make as many rats as we can, and if we have extras, we sell them, and not to the public. We sell them all to one person who then will distribute from there. Because we're not really in the rat business, we just don't. We don't want to be overrun. That's all. So
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, we have enough. It is a lot of work. No, like I said, we have Greg in there, and he's a godsend. It's amazing. Yeah.
How often are you going through like rodent feed and stuff? Like, what do you feed your rodents? Are you feeding them high quality Missouri feed, or are you like, you know what I mean? Like, how much are you putting into your rodents?
Yeah. We do all Missouri. So it is relatively expensive. Thankfully, we buy it in enough bulk that we can get that price down lower than most people would pay it at their local shop. But I couldn't tell you exactly what it costs, total, but it's pricey, but it's way, way less pricey than buying rodents.
It's way less pricey. I feel like it's super worth what you put into your rodents, like the high quality.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm telling you right now, I mean, I've had in my beginning times, I've picked up rats from people who just didn't give a shit what they were feeding their rats, and they were just not right. They just weren't right. And then when I started keeping rats and breeding them, I've only kept them on the F6 Missouri food. They're like the high quality Missouri rat food. And man, I've had nothing but beautiful fucking rats, like gorgeous looking rats, you know? It got to the point where they were it got to the point where they were so gorgeous where I got over it. I got rid of the rats. I was tired of killing them. I got so tired of killing them. Like, I still have a heart. I'm trying to get rid of, like, I was able to okay, so Justin, I'm able to accept the fact that snakes die on you, right? Snakes are going to die on you no matter what, okay?
Right.
And it just happens to be the ones you love the most are the ones that die on you, right? And this,
right.
leads into my chondro experience. You know, chondros are not easy to breed. They're really, really disheartening, and it's really, really messed up. But yeah, okay. But then that being said, and then there's something about a rat, okay? I don't know what it is, man, but rats are so freaking smart. And when you start breeding them and they don't have hair on them, when they're like hairless, and then they're rexy, like the rexes, you know, like the real fluffy, like they look like sheep.
Right.
I mean, I just got so tired of like killing those. I just, you know what I mean? And it just got so old, and I couldn't just, you know, I don't know. I'm a dog person. I love mammals. I'm so into dogs, and I feel like rats, like, you know, especially when you breed them, like when you raise a rat for so long and it's like accustomed to you, it doesn't bite you, it's super nice.
Yes.
It's fucked up. It's like a pet, bro. It sucks. I hate it.
You might be in the wrong business, man.
No,
Yeah.
no. I don't know. I think you're right.
No,
It's weird.
I try to be really humane and good to my rats, but at the same time, I also try to keep my feelings out of it
It's
as much as I
It's
can.
definitely a mental thing, but honestly, what I got tired
Right.
because, you know, no matter what, rats. Thing about a rat, it could get out. If it wants to get out, it's gonna find a way to get out. And I had to deal with a lot of
Sure.
I had to deal with a lot of escapees, right? And escapees that
Okay.
my biggest problem, Justin, is I kept my rats in the same room as my snakes. So
Oh yeah, that's not really workable. Yeah.
no, hell no. And I did it for like 2.5 years. And I always told people this is not choice.
Yeah.
This is not choice. Don't do this. Don't do this. So every time a rat got out, it affected something in the room. Like it would just create havoc.
Right.
And I
Shoot
was
through a cord or yeah.
or just something like or I have horror stories of what rats have done in my snake room. So like I said, people don't do it. So that's you know, that was obviously reason one why I got rid of the rats, right? But another big reason behind it is because what I would do, Justin, out of every litter, I would find the most puniest, cutest rat that wasn't getting any milk, and I would kill off everything else. Everything else would get killed off, but I would
Oh my goodness.
I would keep that one little puny one. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you life, little one. I know you had a rough start. I
Such
know
a good heart.
I know everybody punked you in your life, but here you go, man. Now it's just you and your mom. Drink all the milk you fucking want. Suck it all up, and we're gonna have a good life together. And you know, for the most part, it would either.
That's not how you build a colony, though. That's pretty much the worst way to build a colony, but it is the most compassionate way. I think you stumbled on the most compassionate way to breed rats.
Man, passion is good, but you just at the end of the day, you got to be. Look, strength overdone becomes a weakness. Too much passion can get you stopped in a lot of ways. So,
maybe
it's case
no.
by
I
case.
admire that. I admire that though. That's good. I do try to like get the cute ones, the ones that unique colors, the little, you know, the Dumbo. I always make sure those are breeders, and so that I don't have to feed them off. You know, I make sure they go in the breeding bin for the future breeders.
The ones I love, the ones that had no hair on it, like, or they're just completely bald on their head. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was so. I don't know, man. Those are the cutest ones, man. Anyways, but rats got to go. So it is what it is. You know, at the end of the day, we all love. You know, I'm sure there's a cute calf out there that we've all adored or loved, but that thing became fucking somebody's double cheeseburger at some point. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're all now looking at the steak, you know, before it was a steak. We got to eat. Everybody got snakes got to eat.
Right.
Oh shoot! All right, cool, man. I had to ask about the rats just because I know how much work comes into rats. And the facility you just bought. Do you breed any? Do you breed any ASFs or mice or mouses or anything like that?
No, so we're not allowed to have ASFs here in Georgia. Just a little Georgia rule about exotic rodents. So we don't have those. I don't breed mice. I'll need a few mice. You know, I have mousers like anyone else, a few mousers, snakes. But what I do is I just buy a handful of adult mice every week for those, as opposed to trying to breed them myself.
Do you feel like ASFs are a huge, crucial part to your ball python diet?
No, I don't think so. I think that rodents are in general, and it doesn't matter which so much. But I think ASFs and mice, the challenge with them is that snakes love them and they love eating them, but they don't scale with the snakes that well, right? There comes a point where one mouse it's not going to feed an adult ball python, and so you're going to have to give it a bunch. So it's just better to, just for sake, to get rat eaters from early on, that you can, its whole life you can give it one rodent per week. It's nice and straightforward and simple. That's ideal.
What are you feeding your adult females? Like, okay, let's just say the ones that are above 1,300 grams, between 2,500 grams. Are you somebody who gives them as much as they can take down, or are they on a consistent, like, medium every week or large every week?
Yeah, I give them a large meal. Not, some will give them like several small or something like that. I don't. I'll give them one rodent a week for the most part, just consistent. So, and I found that over time that works better, because you can definitely grow a snake fast by feeding it a lot. But over time, what you'll find out is they'll probably take a break at some point that's going to negate all that speed that you created,
Yeah.
So I'd rather just grow them up nice and consistent. I have a lot of animals that don't ever really hit that 1,000-gram wall they talk about. They never really hit that wall because I never pushed them hard, and they're just always just a nice consistent schedule. And they actually get to your breeder size about the same speed as something that hit that wall, and then frustrated you for 6 months,
Yeah, for no reason. Yeah.
Right. And then, so I try to systematize things as much as I can, find out what's best for the animals, and just make it so.
I got a question that I'm kind of dealing with so I'm in my second year of breeding, right? I had a last year out of 10 snakes, I got seven snakes to lay for me, right?
Yeah.
How often is it when a snake doesn't go the next year after that? Or let's just say they're like, people say they have, I'm having a late season. How does that come in play? I mean, with your experience, have you noticed a lot of females skipping seasons year after year? Have you noticed like, oh shoot, they're just going a lot later than the year before? Because I do have, like, for instance, I have one certain snake that laid in January, but she looks like she's still promising and she's still getting locked, but she laid in January. We're now in March, going into April. Like, am I out of luck on that?
So
girl?
You pretty much are.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, as long as they're eating hard, there's always hope. But for the most part, I find that year over year, they rarely change more than 30 days as far as lay dates. Yeah, I think the most I've ever had them go is maybe 60 days difference.
Okay.
But between consecutive years, if they just really get into a schedule. Now, if they skip a year, then it might go a little bit more of a distance. But for the most part, they're right on. And as far as consistency goes, every female has their own kind of schedule, and some females will go year after year after year, and sometimes I feel bad, like, man, don't you think you should take the year off? And but I'll ultrasound, like, have huge follicles and they're going to be paired to male. I'm like, well, obviously you want to lay a clutch, and go for it, I guess. But then other ones, no matter what you do, they're going to take off to it every 4 years, and that just is what it is, and you have to accept that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you still recommend, look, at the end of the day, if the snake wants to eat, continue feeding, continue pairing, right? You should never stop pairing if the snake's, I mean, what's your insight with that?
Like, I stopped pairing if I always write the previous year's lay date if I know it on the tub. If she blows past that date, then I just stop pairing.
What do you mean blow past? Like, meaning like she's past that date. So once she gets past once she gets past the date that she laid the year before, it is what it is. It's give it a break and just continue feeding.
Unless she's right. So okay, so say she laid in June 1st last year. Okay, now if it comes around and it's June 1st the next year, and she's eating hard and everything looks good, but you ultrasound her, there's no follicles, she is not going to lay for you. It's not happening. So better just keep feeding her, but I'm just not going to keep pairing her. It's a waste of the male at that.
Well, what I'm noticing is, like, the male, like there was right.
my thing is like what I'm noticing is like the male's not even locking her anymore. Like I don't know if it's her or him, but now they went from locking all the damn time to now I pair them and now the male's not getting no action at all. So it's kind of like I think
it could be
who knows?
It could be he thinks it doesn't feel like anything is happening. You know, the males don't like to waste their time either. Sometimes certain males are real picky about that, and they know when the right pheromones aren't there, and they're like, why are you still putting me with this girl? I told you she was done. You know?
Yeah, I'm over it. Try it out.
Yeah, right. That's just how some males are. I actually like those males. People like always talk about, oh, this male will breed a broomstick. I'm like, that's great, but I kind of like the males that you can put them in there and it'll tell you what the female's doing, you know, because based on what they do.
Yeah, the smart males, the ones that know, like, look, this is a waste of time. What are you doing?
Right. They're your ultrasound.
Have you ever had okay, look, I'm sure you've had a male that was so goddamn damageable and powerful that you probably put him more than you probably put him more than just one female, am I right? Have you had any of those? Like, okay, what's the cap on that? Like, or not even cap, like, let's just say, like, because people say, like, oh, if the snake goes off food, it's dangerous when it comes to pairing, and I understand that. But if the snake is just pounding food, like, just, dude, just keeps eating cycle after cycle, can you just pair him to wherever the hell you want to just keep pairing him to? Like, I mean, can he just go all year?
Yeah, he can. There really isn't a limit, I don't think. And I've heard of people who have gotten 20 plus clutches from a single male. So it's certainly doable. But I don't know. For me, I don't do that many, honestly. I would say probably for me a max is 6 or 7 clutches from a single male. But I like variety. We have a lot of customers who like a lot of different things, and I'm working a lot of projects. And so for me, I'm never really all in with anything. Even like the Pompeii male last year, who bred for the first year last year, he's the most powerful male I've ever had. He still saw a pretty select number of girls, and after that, we had other projects we were doing.
You got any crazy European customers giving you some big bank for your snakes?
There's always some of those, yeah. Every country has their people, and it changes every year. So.
And then, like, what's the process to be able to, like, because, like, for instance, I know I could ship anywhere in the United States, right? But when you start dealing with international sales and like selling to, whoever the hell in Amsterdam or whoever the hell, I mean, I don't know, Germany, wherever the fuck. I mean, like, what are the steps for that? I mean, is that kind of a process to be able to sell internationally, or I mean, or is it a hassle?
It is a big hassle, and there's a reason why most people don't do it. It's a major hassle, especially when you haven't necessarily, when you're dealing with single buyers, that any individual sale will be big enough that will actually kind of justify the cost of shipping, even if you go through the process. So it's kind of complicated, so it's hard to talk about it in a really straightforward way, but essentially, you have to go through a paperwork process, right, to certify yourself as a shipper, right? You have an import export license, and you have to have CITES paperwork that gives you the ability to export. But from there, the next part of it is finding, those random customers that email you from overseas. Typically, they only want the one animal they inquired about. It's going to be a rare customer that's going to have an order of multiple snakes or big enough to say, yeah, we'll spend $1,500 or whatever, because it costs about $1,500, I think, on average, to ship something internationally. When you count in fish and wildlife and all the details. So that $1,500 is the big chunk, right? And the snake has to be the snake or the order has to be relatively valuable enough to either justify you eating that cost or the buyer being willing to pay it, one or the other. And so that is the hard part. I think probably the harder part is you have to build a clientele over time. Or build a network where you're taking a bunch of orders from one country and you can ship to one person and it gets distributed. That way, the price of that shipping gets defrayed among all the people that you're shipping into that country. In order to do that, though, you have to have a certain level of marketing and be able to pull enough customers together. Yeah, it's just it's a process, and you know, I got into it early, thankfully. I actually did several international orders back when I first got started, where I actually lost money, a lot of money on the orders, not just because it didn't make any logical sense to spend that kind of money on shipping on a snake that cheap.
Yeah.
But I did it year after year because I was building a clientele, and after a while, all that work and that equation flipped, and it started becoming worth it after a while. And yeah, now here we are, and it's very worth it now, all these years later.
Have you you've gone out to any of the ham shows yet, or any kind of reptile shows in Europe?
Yep, I've been to ham several times. I was going to go this year if they have it again, depending on what happens with the virus. Let's go again. It's a cool show. It's a one-day show. Yeah,
I heard it's pretty crazy as far as having your phones out. Like they don't allow you to take camera. Like you can't take photos of shit. If you buy something, they come up to you and like kind of question you of what you're buying. Like have you kind of seen any of that?
Yeah, I had a bad experience there my first time where they actually literally took some snakes from me. But it was on me. I mean, I had walked into the show with it to a customer who had been a vendor, but me not knowing the rules of the show, and they had very strict rules against that. You know, it's not as lax as it is here in the U.S. So they literally confiscated my animals. I don't know, it was like 25 grand worth of animals out of a box, and like took it and put it in a holding area. And me not speaking German, I was scared to death and had no clue what was really going on. But generally speaking, if someone stops you and just takes a picture or something at the ham show, no one's gonna call you on it, you know. But they do have general rules that kind of keep things in check.
Yeah, I mean,
it is definitely a whole different experience.
I would not want to piss off any kind of German officer or kind of official, or that's the last thing I want to do.
They're very stern. They're very stern and scary.
I've seen Schindler's List too many times. I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah.
You a movie guy at all? I mean, I know people are gonna be bored on this question, but are you into movies at all?
Not majorly, but
what's your favorite movie? Let's give us your favorite comedy.
Comedy. I don't know. Maybe like I'm thinking back to when I was a kid. Like, What About Bob? I love What About Bob.
Oh, wow.
I love
Bill Murray.
I love Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, dude. What About Bob? Hey, listen, I'm giving you kudos on that one. That's a '90s classic.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Were you born in '82?
I was born in 1981. Yep.
81. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Because I was born in '85. Yeah, I'm an '80s baby. My sister was born in '82, but like, you know, What About Bob? You know, Encino Man. You know, the the Pauly Shore phases and shit. You know what I mean? I was into all that stuff. Classic '90s.
I love all the Robin Williams stuff. Yeah, that was
fired. Yeah. Good Morning Vietnam was one of my favorite Robin Williams movies. By rest in peace, Robin Williams. Robin Williams was amazing. All right, we'll stop boring people.
Right.
People get all mad. Well, not on the other channel, the Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. People get pissed when I ask people about their favorite music and shit. All they want to hear is about reptiles.
Oh, really?
Fuck, dude, can I just get personal?
There's got to be more to life than just reptiles.
Yeah, geez, you know. says my wife. Fuck. Yeah. Oh man. So traveling wise, how often do you and your wife travel? Do you guys ever go vacation? Like, do you guys go to Mexico? I mean, what do you and your wife do as far as getting away?
Yeah, we haven't done a ton of that until more recently. We went to Mexico. They had that. I don't know if you saw it, like the ball python symposium in Mexico last November. We were able to go to that and get away from the kids. It's pretty fun. But for the most part, our vacations include taking all the kids with us, at least for this part of our life. It's hard to find a babysitter for 5 kids. You know, it's 1 or 2 maybe, but not 5.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we did like a little tour of the Midwest, or not the Midwest, the West, I guess. We did like Colorado and Utah and that area last year. And we're thinking about this summer again. All bets are off right now with this quarantine stuff. But we were planning on doing like Yellowstone and maybe South Dakota and doing a whole route up there because we love history. We love kind of that natural state park thing, and they were planning on doing that.
That's interesting. That's those kind of road trips remind me of like National Lampoons. Like you ever see
again, more classics. I love those. We just showed my kids Christmas Vacation.
So good. Yeah, I showed my wife that.
So good.
And she was cracking up. And like those are classics.
It's funny because there's always those adult themes that as a kid you don't remember, and in your mind it's all just then you sit there with your kids and you're like, oh my goodness, I forgot this part.
Yeah,
they made movies differently in the 80s, didn't they?
They did it to where it kind of goes by your head, like it blows by you and you're almost like, what?
Right. As a kid I didn't even know.
They did it good because there were so many things where I go back and watch. I'm like, holy shit, that's not appropriate. And I didn't really catch it as a kid. You know what's funny too? I don't know what was wrong with me, but one of my favorite movies since I was 6 was Scarface. Like Scarface, but I just didn't really know. Like, yeah, I knew there was killing and shooting. It was like more like a cowboy movie to me, but like I didn't know the whole drug thing. I didn't know like really what all that really meant until I got older. But it's
amazing.
Crazy. It's just crazy how you don't see.
It's amazing how a kid can watch something and just
because
have a completely different context for it as a kid.
Yeah, because I didn't really know what really like the drugs were and stuff, and I didn't really care. I just thought this guy was he was really sturdy, really he was really strong. He was like a superhero. You know what I mean? But so it's crazy how your mind. It's crazy how you see things at a young age. And then it just switches around, and you're like, "Holy shit, I didn't see it like that." But especially with the comedy ones, like National Lampoons, those are classics, bro. Those are ones where it's like, oh my god, like, oh man, yeah. There's just so many things that are so funny. So listen. One thing that I heard through the grapevine is I heard you're into gaming. I heard you're a gamer on the low.
I was. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more.
Gaming a lot.
Like what kind of gaming?
So the coolest story. Yeah. So I was into World of Warcraft big time. I started on day 1, and I don't even know what year that would have been. Probably 2004, maybe 3. But I was into World of Warcraft big time. I was a PC gamer, always a PC gamer, and I played Counter-Strike and stuff back then too. Before that. But yeah, I was into World of Warcraft big time, and I was like relatively serious on some like raiding guilds and some of that, and it was really, really cool. So, yeah.
Were you ever at a point where you're
I gave it all up for snakes?
Okay, I was going to ask you, where'd you go with it?
Yeah. So the cool story is that. So my character's name in the game, and I had her from day 1, was Pregis, so P. Regis, so the scientific name for ball pythons was my character's name in the world. And so I just threw all my time into this character and leveled it up and leveled it up and leveled it up. And one of the coolest things I had back then was when WoW Vanilla first came out. They had what you call, you'd work really hard to get these mounts that your character could ride around on, around the world. And so I worked really, really, really hard, and I got what's called an epic mount, right? It was like the horse that was with all the bells and whistles, and it ran, at 200% faster than everybody else's horse, and it was a whole thing. So I have this epic mount. And one day, and I was still really, really proud of it, okay? But one day, the snakes were getting so busy, and I was so into this game. And I said, you know what, Justin? It's time to be epic in real life. You gotta let this go. You can't just be epic. You can't just be epic in a virtual world, because it was an escape. Like, the snakes hadn't gone anywhere yet. Yeah. The snakes hadn't gone anywhere yet, right? Like, they were something I was doing on the side, and I loved it, but that wasn't, But there was that day, like literally one day, I was like, you know what? No more epic in virtual reality. Like, I'm going to take all this effort and put it into my real life, And it's funny because I said at that time, I said, I'm going to get an epic mount in real life. And I just, in my mind, that was like the benchmark. It's like, I want to get so good at what I do and be so successful that I can get a really cool car that I've always wanted, and I can have it in real life, and it will be my mount in real life. So I've not actually shown anything on social media or anything, but I actually bought a really cool car back in January, and then on the license plate.
You went to Arizona for?
Yeah, I got it in Arizona. Yeah.
I watched that with you. You met up with Joel,
Yeah.
State 48.
Right. Yeah, we had dinner. Yeah, it was awesome.
Hey, since we're talking about real quick, since before we leave the subject off Joel, if you were to prefer zipper jeans or button-up jeans, like for the rest of your life, which route would you go?
Zipper.
Okay,
it's what I know, and I'm not. It's what I know, and I'm not unhappy.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. That's all. I'm sorry. Let's just continue that. I'm glad we got that on record. You heard what he said. Okay, let's move forward. Joel prefers button-up.
I don't remember where I was at. Oh no, so I got the car, and then I and then I got the license plates as pre-Regis, so P-Regis on the license plates for ball pythons, and so it's the same name as my character in World of Warcraft. We've gone full circle and we got an epic mount in real life and named it my character's name. So kind of cool.
Dude, World of Warcraft is a whole nother level of addiction, obsession.
A lot of commitment. Yeah.
My buddy Bo, he's not into snakes or anything. I think he does watch this though. So shout out to my homie Bo. But my homie Bo was really into World of Warcraft. Like it got to the point where we wouldn't see him anymore. Like we wouldn't hang out. And we just knew that he was really into a whole nother world that was wrapped around reality.
That's how I was.
It was his reality, and he thought it was a real thing. And he luckily, I don't know what happened. I think it was maybe his daughter. He had a kid, maybe. I don't know what it was, but he finally snapped out of it. And I'm like, hey, I know he misses it, but man, that was like a whole nother thing. That's like,
yeah.
It's because you develop a character, I'm assuming, and you become that character. Right?
Yeah. You become that, right? Whatever, yeah. And it's, in a way, it's not that hard to be, you feel like you're doing epic things, right? In the virtual world. And so, in a way, like, few people's lives are as epic as what they can create for you in the game, right? Yeah. Few people's lives. And so that draws a lot of people in. I totally get it. I was there, you know? But there comes a point, I'm not saying if you have to give it up, but there comes a point where you have to make sure that you're fully invested in your real life, not just your virtual life.
Make sure that part's taken care of before you start dipping into the whole loony. You know what I mean? That's not looping.
Yeah, I understand the draw. I do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I understand.
So let's talk about the cars, right? You inquired a new car. Seems like you're into the cars. Yeah. You're into whips, right? What's on the bucket list? So, okay, let's talk about the car you just got, or do you not want to talk about it? You just inquired a car in January.
I wanted to view it on a video. At some point.
Give it specs.
But it's cool. Okay, so it's 500 horsepower. It's a German car, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a little lightweight, enjoyable car that I've been dreaming about for about 2.5 years when looking for a specific car. I actually did not go to Arizona planning to buy a car. I just found the right one. It found me. So kind of thing.
You said German engineering, is that correct?
Yeah.
So it's a Porsche?
So, it could be a Porsche, it could be a Mercedes, it could be a BMW.
What about years?
I'm trying to throw you off here because I do want to be able to release it.
It's fine. No, I hear you. No, it's fine.
It was a 2018, but it's brand new. It was brand new. It's only 80 miles on it. So
you don't have to say I'm right or wrong. You could just be like, give me a little taste. Is it new or is it old, or is it like mid? Like are we talking about a new? We're talking about 500 horsepower. Yeah. Are you okay with telling us the color, or do you want to wait on that?
That's the coolest part. So I'm going to wait on that. It's
okay,
crazy color.
What about the color of the interior, or do you want to wait on that?
It's black interior. I'll give you that. It's a neutral.
I can't wait to see.
What the cool thing is here, and I won't out him because I have no idea if he wants me to tell people, but The cool thing is at Arlington, I was talking to another breeder, and he's like, oh yeah, I got to show you this car. And he got the same kind of car, and it is wicked cool. And I was like, no way. Like literally we've bought the same car essentially just like 5 days apart. And just one of those like complete crazy coincidences. But I don't know if he wants people to know yet either, but it's kind of cool.
So Justin got a brand new Porsche. He hasn't.
You're funny.
Okay, so we're looking forward to seeing what Justin's new car, German engineer, looks like. He gave us a little taste, black interior. We can't wait. Pushes 500 horses. That's gonna be sick. What else is on your bucket list? Okay, let's just say, okay, Justin, you're at a dealership. You could have whatever car you want. What would be the next car?
So yeah, if practicality is not part of it, because right now I'm starting to think more practical now. But I like the Mercedes AMG GTRs. I think I'd love to get one of those just to have one.
Yes.
That seems like it's a real apex of engineering right there, and they've really refined it well. I love, I got to drive Miguel's Ferrari. He was awesome. Let me drive that a little bit. He's really cool. He's really he's just so generous with that sort of thing, and that makes him such a cool guy.
So generous.
I love Ferraris. Ferraris are really cool. Yeah, so that'd be cool to get one of those down the road. But honestly, I'm relatively practical. It took me all these years to even buy. Every vehicle I've ever had has been practical. So I don't think that I'm going to suddenly become impractical and start loading up a garage full of cars. So.
Well, yeah, that'd be a whole separate thing. Because, I mean.
That would be.
Jesus. I mean, all Miguel's car. Miguel has a shit ton of cars, by the way, and they're all very nice, but they're all in a separate garage, and they're all a separate thing. Yeah. I don't think people understand that cars were part of Miguel's life before the snakes. Right. And it's just, man, look, I'm not into cars. Like I love cars. Like I could respect them. I've been behind the wheel of some amazing cars, but there's so much other things I want more in my life before I get a car like that. I'm not even a homeowner yet. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like owning a home is more important than owning a car, right? Because in California, Jesus, man, if you're a homeowner in California, you're well ahead of the game. It's not cheap. It's hard. It's really difficult to own a home in California. Sure. It's also feasible too. It's practical, but it depends on your hustle. But that's kind of something that's on my bucket list. And I can't wait to the day where I'm like, holy shit, I'm looking at this Porsche. Because I know if I'm looking at a Porsche, that means everything is so covered in my life that I could actually go ahead and drop money on a goddamn Porsche.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like, man. But the cool thing is being around Miguel, like I drove around. Have you seen his Impala, his orange fucking classic 19? I think it's a 19.
I did. I got to ride in it, but it was pre fixed. He got it recently redone. So
if that's not motivation for people, I don't know what the fuck is that. When I got in a ride in a car like that, he took me out to dinner. He took me, and at the time it was my fiance, out to dinner, and I'm telling you, man, shit like that is so impacting. It's so inspiring, and I thank people like Miguel, because it's like that. Makes you realize what your worth is. And it also makes you realize what's practical, like what you're capable of doing. Like, you don't have to limit yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's so many good things in this hobby. Like, there's people like you, like what you're doing with the morphs and with the breeding. And there's Miguel, and there's Ozzy, and there's Barcheck, and there's people who aren't stopping what they're doing, and it just keeps leveling up. It just keeps leveling. And all it is great inspiration. It's a lot to take in, bro.
The fact that you look at it that way. You don't even maybe realize how critical that is to your success, the fact that you look at it that way. Because a lot of people look at it that way. If they see someone eating pie, they think it must be a piece of their pie.
Yeah, no, hell no.
But the way you look at it, like when I years ago, look at Ralph Davis' success, like I thought the fact that that's possible is so motivating. The fact that somebody can do what they love and throw their passion into something and make it work for them, like it's just someone saying that, hey, your dreams, they're possible. That, and that's so huge.
It's major huge, man. I mean, that's where it all starts from, most and foremost. What was his name? What's the cricket in Disneyland? Jimmy Cricket, or fuck, I forget his name.
Jiminy Cricket, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that guy. I really am. You take your kids to Disneyland yet, or Disney World?
We have down in Florida, so it'd be World, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And are they
Great
huge?
stuff.
Your kids huge on Disney? They Disney fans?
Generally speaking, not overly much. My kids are really big the boys are really big into football, big time. So we have Falcons season tickets, so we able to go to the Falcons game.
Falcons.
Right here, and they never win, it seems like, recently, but my boys are so into it, and my girls, they love girl stuff, and they're really smart and good with crafts, and like my daughter can create anything out of paper mache and toilet paper, and like just incredible. Like she's super artistic, so they're awesome, they really are.
Girls for you. Girls are so good with art for the most part. I was never good with art. Like I could barely color within the lines. Like I can't even color within the lines still. I just wasn't good with art. Are you artistic with shit? Like are you good with like painting? No. Yeah.
I mean, I can draw a little bit, but that's not me at all. Not like some people. I'm very analytical,
Yeah, 100%. Well, okay, Justin. I know we've taken up just the past 2 hours of your time. I appreciate. How you doing right now? You doing good?
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the coffee treating you?
Good. I'm almost done with it.
How's your body kicking in? Any soreness from your basketball game? I know Justin played a round of basketball with his kids earlier. And I don't know, was it 21? What was it? Was it 3-on-3, 2-on-2? What you guys got going on earlier?
So we playing with the two boys. So it was me against my 12-year-old son, and then my 11-year-old son is all-time offense. So whoever has the ball, you just pass it to him.
That's awesome. And then
that's how you have to do it when you have 3 players, though.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right?
Right.
So everything as far as the snakes, the rats, it's all on the same property. So it's not like you need to drive anywhere if you need to tend anything. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure that makes life a lot easier.
It's pretty huge. It allows me to pop in here anytime, night or day. It's never laying there at 3 a.m. and some thought will come in and be like, oh, did you take care of that? Or did you turn that light off? Or did you turn that thermostat down? And thankfully, now at the new building, we kind of have that all on the systems. We can just do it from the smartphone. But it's just so nice not to have to get in the car in order to fix something like that.
Was that ever an issue? Like, did you ever have stuff away from on your property? Like, did you ever have your snakes like somewhere where you had to go like mute to it?
When I first got started, I did. I had to drive like 20 minutes. And then just recently, we moved to this new house on this new property. And then it took almost 6 months for this building to be built. And so I was commuting 40 to 50 minutes a day to the snake building for the past, basically for the past year almost. So it's hard to do that. It's hard to operate well, especially if you're real particular like I am. I'm just a little OCD about stuff, and I want to have my hands on it, and I want to see that it's right, and not being there is really hard.
I feel like this is the one hobby where OCD is a huge benefit for you. Like if you're OCD about stuff, you need to make sure things are right. Like one of my things is like I can't stand any kind of turds in my snake's water. Like I just can't. Like, you know what I mean? And if you keep retics, like you'll realize a retic will just do whatever the hell it wants any time of day in water. You know what I mean? But like for instance, I'm sure retic shit inside water is not healthy for a retic to drink. And there's people out there who will change their snake's water and they won't even look for it until like 4 or 5 days down the road. You know what I mean? And I know that a retic
Right.
capable of just doing something fucking disgusting in the water after within one night, you know? And it's a paranoia.
Usually right away. Yeah.
It's a paranoia
Yeah.
for me. Like I'll check all the time, and it just I'm happen to be my snake OJ is literally I'm on my 4th day on changing his damn thing of water. Like I'm going every day, and there's
Wow.
either calcium poo or there's something where he's just like he's using it as a urinal, you know, or something, and I'm just like, oh
Right.
God. But it's also a good thing, even though it's a pain in the ass, you know, and I hate doing it. I'm making sure, like, I just can't imagine my snake drinking its own piss or its own, you know, bowel liquids, if that makes sense. Right. I don't know, but that's when
we're going to try to give them a good life.
That's when that OCD kicks in. And then, but then also OCD, you could also become a weakness too. Like you don't always want to spray down your snake because it just took a shit that day. I mean, because ball pythons, you could spot clean ball pythons pretty easily for the most part. You know what I mean? Right. For the most part, retics is something where they piss so much. Retics have 2 different sessions when they bow. Right? There's a solid session where it's all solid. And then they have a calcium session. They have a calcium session where they push out the white little rocks, like the calcium
urates. Yeah,
urates, right? Yeah. But then here comes like at least a liter of liquid, and it's all yellow, and it just flows. What it does is it flows throughout the whole enclosure. So for the most part, I will never use substrate other than paper for a retic. That is stupid. Okay. Why would you use cocoa chips for a retic when once it liquefies it with you
replace everything.
You have to replace everything. And if you don't, like let's just spot clean it, well that stuff, like that's how you get mites. Like that's how shit comes up, like because you're not cleaning everything. But the thing I don't know. I don't know what I'm rambling on about right now, but I'm just saying
OCD is good. It's good. Yeah.
OCD is good, but you don't want to overdo it. Oh, what I was saying is, like, for instance, JP was saying that, okay, once he goes in and sees a tub and he sees any kind of shit, he'll toss out everything and put all new everything, right? Or he'll spot clean. He'll literally spray and everything. Well, look, snakes need some sort of dirtiness, at least a little bit. I think they're from the wild, right? They're not used to things being clean 110% all the damn time. So I feel like you shouldn't always lose your shit when you see a shit. You should just make sure that it's not liquefied throughout the whole tub. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think some dirtiness is okay to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But what's your spot clean protocol or your tub clean protocol? What's your in-depth answer on that?
Right. So our protocol is every week we will spot clean every tub, right? Or full clean it. So just based on how it looks. Thankfully, in the Freedom Breeder tubs, we have the water bowl, set up a little higher. They almost never poop or pee in it. So that's kind of nice. But so we have it's always spot clean, but there's a few different things that trigger an automatic full clean. And one is that it looks dirty. If you cannot remove it completely to where you can't even tell it was there, like, poop or anything, just poop on the walls or whatever, it gets full clean, period. Or the other thing is kind of a hard stop is if they ever shed, they get an automatic full clean, new water bowl, new everything, fresh from scratch, if they shed. And so that way we kind of know no matter what, it'll be full cleaned at least once a month on average. It doesn't matter if it got full cleaned the night before, it gets a full clean when it sheds.
So documentation on sheds, poos, all that stuff. How big are you on those? Or are you just all about the documentation on pairing and ovulation? Like, how serious do you take?
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, this snake, strikes left instead of right on this meal. Like, do you do all that or like?
That's a great question, because I think a lot of people initially make a lot of documentation of stuff, a lot. And I did too. I used to, document every shed. I don't know if we ever did poos, but we did sheds for sure. We document every meal, what it was, how big it was, etc. But for me, over time, we found that we were never actually going back and ever referring to any of that data, right? So you can keep a year's worth of shedding records, and then one day you realize, like, never once have ever wanted to look back and see what date it shed, right? So after a while you start realizing that you're working for nothing. There's no point to that. So we try to keep data only as it pertains to something that's actually. So if there's ever anything wrong with the snake, we will document that, make sure we have dates and times and how it was addressed, etc. We will document, of course, we document pairings, of course, and eggs and ovulations and all that, lay dates. The only other thing, I'm trying to think, we try to document size a little bit. We'll start to weigh them as they get up to size, just to know when they're kind of getting close. We kind of, more than we want to know exactly what weight they are, we want to know kind of how fast they're gaining. If they're putting on weight real fast, that's a sign that, hey, we should probably look at putting her into the breeding program versus something that's just taking a meal here and there, etc.
Yeah. So. What's the because there's a lot of different there's a lot of different insights on this, but what's your okay when you think a female is ready to breed, right? So a virgin female, something that you produce from a hatchling to
right.
What because I've seen snakes grow faster than other snakes, so what do you put age on it, or do you put the weight on it? Like what do you do?
For me, it's mostly about weight, because sometimes they'll get there really early,
Yep.
But the way I look at it is, in the wild, males are going to breed whatever female they come across, period. They don't weigh them first, and they don't make sure that they're thick enough or anything. So for me, I get them into the 1,500 gram range, and I breed them. If they're 1,400 grams eating hard and I breed them, then I know that they will eat really, really, really hard from there, and they'll probably be almost 2,000 grams by the time they lay. Sometimes if they're thin, like they're 3 years old, but they're 1,300 grams and they're a little thin, I'll breed them just to make them eat. I don't even care. I don't even want to clutch out of them. I'm not even thinking about that. But sometimes a female kind of needs like a biological imperative, like, hey, you're old enough to have eggs, and they get a male in there, and suddenly they're like, yeah, I better start eating because this is going to happen at some point, and and then that female, again, the whole point is not to make her lay at all; it's just to make her eat. So we do that a little bit. Sometimes they just need to remind them a little bit what biology is. So
let me ask you this: is there like an average on how many times you have to pair a male to a female? Like if you have a female that's like on schedule, right? You're like, third, fourth season in, when she's like, how often do you have to pair that male?
Good question. I would say on female that I know her schedule, probably twice, maybe 3. I know some people who are really good doing it only once. To me, I don't know. I don't. But, yeah.
You don't even have to work your
girls that you don't know their schedule. Right. That's the nice thing. It's the girls that you don't know their schedule. You do not know what they're doing. Those are the ones that end up taking kind of the male effort. You end up using them quite a few times. So.
That's nuts, because you think about how many people who pair their male way more than they need to, and like it's sucking that much energy out of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's nuts.
Dude, that's the big reason for not breeding year round is your males. So that's why I like seasonal breeding still.
The first person I heard that from was Billy from Mutation Creation. You know who Billy is, right?
I do. He's awesome.
Yeah, Billy was the one who was like, he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I only paired this female twice, and she boom. And that was the first time I was like, what? Like you only wait, what? Whoa. I was like, is that you only need to pair them twice? Because at that point, I was pairing my male to the same female. I think like, I don't know, it was like 12 times or something stupid, and it was like,
That's what I did too at first. Yeah, my first 2
years. It was like, okay, just keep going, but it was just so unnecessary, But I think that's when owning an ultrasound really helps you, man. Knowing the follicle build.
Yeah.
I think that's when really, if you're really into this game and you're really trying to get shit dialed in and know what's what instead of guessing, because me, man, I still got Home Depot racks. I'm still like, you know what I mean, bro? I'm still ghetto with my shit, like, but I'm still having fun too. Like, I'm not gonna go ahead and put all my fucking money into something where I'm just still having fun. Once I get there, I'll get there, right? But at the same time, once you invest, like there's certain things that's just worth investing, right? And I feel like the ultrasound, especially when you're in your second, third year, fourth year season of breeding, and you want things to make sure are things working. Like there's just certain things that you could cut the guessing game out and just know what facts are. And I feel like that's why an ultrasound really helps out.
Especially early on, just being able to visually see what you think you know, what you think you see based on palpating everything or think you feel. It's nice to have that visual confirmation, like, hey, I'm not crazy. This is actually happening, So
and then
it's a nice tool.
So as far as follicle builds, right? So like, let's say a female lays eggs for you in June. Okay. She then lays eggs and starts eating food within what, 2-3 weeks after she lays eggs. Cause that's what's been happening for me, right? They start eating pretty quick after they lay, right?
They do. Yeah.
That, that going into the following season, when do you check for follicles? Like, when do you feel like, okay, she's starting to build again? Like, how soon after she starts eating after she lays is when there's a time where you're like, okay, let me check if she's building or not. Like when
these are really good questions, man. These are good questions. These are questions that few people articulate, and it's good. It's a good question.
So we're gonna have you on for round two.
Most people don't think through it. I can tell you right now, as carefully as you have. So that's a good question. So for me, I find that the ideal window to start breeding again is 7 months after the previous lay date.
Okay.
So 5 months. Yeah. So right. So basically that takes them. So for example, if I have a female that laid in June, I will breed her in December. In July, I'll breed her in January. If she laid in August, I'll breed her in February.
Got it.
That seems to be about the right cycle to kind of encourage follicle growth for the new season and get her back on the path.
Okay. And then as long as
I don't initially ultrasound before I breed. I just breed at that moment.
This is based off of her food's on point. She's eating good. There's no issue, right? Okay. I mean,
right. No, if she's not eating and it's the time, then I'm gonna do what I can do to get her on track before we expect anything out of her.
Another question as far as pairing goes, right? I've seen some little tiny ball pythons lock some females before. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, I'm talking about barely 500 grams and they're locking females. Is that just luck of the draw? Like, what the hell goes on with that? I've never had that kind of luck. Every
luck.
Okay. Because every male I've had,
it seems like luck.
Every male I've had wants nothing to do with the female till it's about 2-3 years old at least.
That's bad luck right there. Yeah.
Fuck, damn it. Yeah, all my males are pretty mature. I've never had any luck with young males. So it's just a luck thing.
Yeah, but it's not that lucky because I've found that young males, even if they're willing to breed, they're not likely to sire any clutches. Well, people get all excited and they post those pictures on Instagram. Oh, my 400, 500 gram male is breeding. It's this powerhouse male. We got him up to size in time. Booyah, watch out. There's almost never any babies to show for those breedings.
Right.
So locks do not equal eggs, put it that way. What I found is a lot of times those males, they're going through the motions, but they're not actually shooting anything.
They're not confirmations.
Right. And so I found that a lot of times if you have a male that breeds a girl and he gets several locks on her, but he's really, really young, she'll just slug out because he didn't actually have any viable sperm. Just because he's willing to lock does not mean that it's a done deal.
It doesn't count until the eggs touch the ground.
Right. So in my mind, I don't try I don't try for those just kind of show locks. Like you can get a male going that early. There's no point to it. Might as well get him up to 800, a little bit more age where he's
Yeah.
actually going to do something.
When they're ready.
Then you're not just wasting him.
Yeah, I have no time waiting. That's the thing, man. I feel like that's a huge one up in this hobby is if you are in no rush for a damn thing. Like if you're just willing to wait. And
yes and no. You also have a certain intensity about it, whereas like, anything I can't control, I will control.
right. But then again,
and that's been my flex all through these years. Is like if I can make something happen, if I can work a little bit harder, if I can change an extra bedding and make this girl eat, if I can carefully hand feed a little mouse down, I will do it because that's the edge. But
right.
at the same time, you also have to know that there's certain things out of your control and that certain things just take a certain amount of time as well.
But just don't give yourself high expectations that this 500-gram ball python is going to breed for you just because you see.
No.
Like, cut that out. You know what I mean? Chill out. And you're better off waiting, like you're saying. Get it to 800 grams. Get it to a mature level, and then that expectation becomes a reality. Versus, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm telling you right now, I was one of those people who was like, I had a ball python. I was barely hit a years old, and it's like 550 grams, and it wants nothing to do with the female. It wants nothing to do with it because it's not ready.
It's demoralizing.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're tripping it out. Leave it alone. So I guess it's all case by case, like everything else. But yeah, man. Do you have like an expectations of females versus males that you want to produce? Like, are you like, damn, I need this many females versus males? I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I hit nothing but females last year. I could definitely use some males this year. Like, I'm not lying, but how's it look for you?
I always want the best holdback animals to be males, ideally, right? And you want the rest of them to be girls, right? Because you want the best one to be at the holdback and everything else to put on the shelf for the future. But it just rarely works that way. For me, it seems like it's just kind of a colloquial observation. It seems like the best ones always end up being girls for me, which, you're not complaining in 3 years, but initially it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But that's just the luck of the draw. Overall, I prefer girls in general.
Speaking of the ladies, the females, what females are going this year for the first time for you that you're like, holy shit? Like, or let's just talk about the ones getting locked. Like it's in motion.
Yeah.
Just give me the top two.
Yeah. I'm trying to think here. We have like a red stripe inchy Batman girl who's being locked right now. Really, really pretty.
Oh my god, red stripe inchy Batman.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Really crazy.
Oh my god. Dude, oh my!
What else?
I gotta
We're
go.
bringing like an ODYB dreamsicle girl to an inchy double or inchy pied het lab. So hopefully, I'm really excited about the dreamsicle project with the inchy this year. That's the
dreamsicle lives. I'm excited how you're
really cool.
That torch is still being carried with you, man. I don't see it as much. Yeah, I see a couple, people here and there, but you're still the only one really rocking with that shit.
Yeah. Well, to me, I always feel like every project is just nothing's a dead end. Everything is just you have to change and bring it to a different space, So dreamsicles, inchy, OD, yellow belly. At some point, I think it's possible to reach peak dreamsicle. Like this is as good as it's gonna get. Yeah. But until we're there, I'm not giving up on it. I'm enjoying every step. So that's kind of my fear, I guess, in the end, is that we're going to reach a peak ball python at some point. Like it's going to be so good that it can't be improved. It's so far that it's never happened. And every time we think we've gotten somewhere, it gets blown out of the water. So, I mean, there's no evidence it's ever going to happen.
You might be right because the way you're going, like the scales is being raised and raised and raised. So it's kind of up to you, man. How do you feel about that pressure now that we're talking about it? Because it's really up to you at this. Like, what the fuck? Come on.
I prefer to work it where there was no pressure. Yeah. I prefer
shit.
That by far. It's a lot, because people have expectation. So
they
he'll have
they
this
want
expectation that
you're only as good as your last
right.
fucking clutch, Justin. Come on, you know
That's
that.
exactly right. No, I feel that. I feel that strongly. And especially when you have other people out there like Ozzy who really brings it every year, you know.
Every year.
And I enjoy Ozzy a lot, and I think he's a great person. There's no animosity there at all. But he raises the bar in my mind. He's like the most direct person who like raises the bar of what I have expectations for myself. When I see that, I'm like, wow, I got it. I how do I even like? I've got to make something that is crazy like that, you know, in my own way. Um, and and I think we're going to see more and more of that. Honestly, I think we're seeing a new crop of breeders who will do more of that.
Was there
So,
ever
but no,
beef?
it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Was there ever beef between you and Ozzy?
No, not that
Okay.
I know of.
Yeah. No.
It's hard to know how people feel behind the scenes, but no, Ozzy's a really cool guy,
No,
and
yeah,
and
that's weird as fuck.
he has this a passion for the animals that you know, and especially I have mad respect for anybody who, having done it now for so long, I have mad respect for anybody who is able to year in, year out do it, you know, pull out the goods like he does. Because a lot of people can make cool stuff here and there, but to the consistency is everything. And that's the really hard part is the consistency.
I can tell you right
To,
now.
to not have an off year.
I can tell you right now, Justin, Ozzy does it for the fucking pure passion. I mean, this guy does not care. I mean,
Yeah.
he cares about his following, but it's not why he does it. He does it because he loves
Right.
it. Does it because he's good at it.
And it
And
shows.
oh yeah, and it shows. My God, and it leads to the same thing with you too. Like I said, you're not somebody who puts himself on his stories every day, showing what his life to life is like. You know what I mean? But all you have to do is post one snake that you produced, and that has such an impact by itself. And the same shit with Ozzy. Ozzy posts. He's frequently posting stuff. But all it is a fucking snake with it in his hand. He's not verbally marketing himself.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Crazy. And it's but it's so powering too, because you know it's cool because it's to each their own, right? Like there's a lot of people out there who don't want to put themselves on camera. They don't want to show themselves, but they're proud of what they're doing. Well, you could do that. That's totally cool. You don't
Sure.
have to be a Miguel. You don't have to be a Barcheck. Like you could just do your own
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? And you could show your work.
I'm so glad for those guys, so I don't have to be that guy. I'm so glad that they exist. You know,
and honestly,
we need those guys,
dude.
you know?
I give it to the Miguels and Barchecks, bro, because on top of doing what they're doing with the animals, the whole fucking collab thing, the whole YouTube thing is fucking wrenchfully tired, bro. Like I give it, like, man, like Miguel does not stop, bro. I'll tell you right, and Barcheck does not stop. Those guys, they're like two. There's a white version and the Mexican version. They're exactly alike. They don't fucking stop. They are straight power to the wall. And dude, they're awesome for it. And because of those people, that's why this hobby's getting more popular. It's getting more noticeable. Dude, we have celebrities dipping their hands in this, man. It's all because of the passion. It's because of the drive. So, like, you know, a lot of us don't have to put in that kind of work because of Miguel and Barcheck. So, shout out to those two.
Yeah. Big time.
Big time. Awesome shit, bro. So, what's your take on the sunset? Okay, I mean, I haven't seen you post any sunset stuff. Are you just like
I just did actually for the first time.
Okay, my bad. Woo. Well, okay, tell me about it.
No. No, I think they're awesome, and I think they're just a fantastic mutation. And I've kind of stood on the sidelines of it for a long time, and I'm excited to kind of get into it a little bit now. I'm not going to like go crazy on it because I'm just getting started, but it's really cool. I like it. And I don't think we found the right angle on it yet either. That's kind of, for me, that was what kind of led to me getting into it. Is I was either watching for somebody to find that perfect angle, or to maybe conceive of something that put the fire in me to like, okay, maybe this is the way to go. So I'm in it now a little bit.
Can you share with us what your dream sunset combo would be?
So you know, it's going to be too obvious, honestly. But to me, like the Desert Ghost sunset is going to be amazing because we know, first of all,
Damn.
what's a desert sunset called, right? There should be like there should be a name for that. A desert Ghost sunset.
We'll know soon.
Yeah, well, there you go. But no, I think that'll be amazing. But that's pretty obvious, though. I think it's a no-brainer. I really want to see the sunset into some of that magma stuff because to me, the big calling card of the sunset is the red, right? The fact that it's orangey, everything like that. So in my mind, if we can enhance that color while at the same time bringing out contrast in the animal, and maybe putting Desert Ghost in it, like we're going to get into some realm there that isn't really possible another way, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's finding something that you can't make another way because there's a lot of ways around stuff.
That's true.
But for a morph to be valuable, you have to say like, well, you need this in order to do that, and good luck doing it another way because it has to have that. And that's where the interest really is long term. So sunset's cool. It's really cool.
Somebody said sunset Pompeii. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it sounds hard to make, but it sounds amazing.
Imagine that kind of red and
like Will said, Sunset Labs. Yeah.
Ooh, you know Will Murrows?
Yeah, Will's a good guy.
He's amazing.
That's awesome.
That guy's putting.
That's really awesome.
That guy's putting more than enough as far as for the Canadians go. That guy's repping Canada so hard, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Him and 514, Khalil.
I love that. Khalil. That's awesome.
Canada is hot right now, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot going on up there. A lot of really cool people.
Shout out to the Canucks.
They started playing hockey, and now they're breeding snakes.
Oh shit! I got to actually finally hang out. I finally got to hang out with Will and Khalil. Who else was there from Canada? There was a couple other dudes from Canada, but
was this at Barczyk's opening?
Yeah, we went to Bart. Dude, holy shit, bro! Barczyk. I've never been to a type of reptarium. I guess he just a quality. Okay, I've been to some stuff in California, horrendous. Okay, I walked away, shredded my clothes, did not come back home with them because how the experience was. I walked into Barczyk's. It was so dialed in, so perfect, so clean. I could not honestly. I'll take that experience home with me, because he had everything. Like, bro, I look at it a lot, Justin. Like, I honestly, because I'm pretty OCD with my shit. I know where I've made a lot of mistakes. So going into anything, I look for anything. Like, I look for any kind of like underbites, fucking anything moving on the animal, anything that's weird. I look for it. That's just what I do.
Sure.
I didn't fucking find one thing wrong at Barczyk's place, dude. And I saw everything. I saw everything from head to toe. I was so amazed when you have that many animals at that capacity, different species, different everything, and everything's dialed in. I was fucking amazed, dude. I was really amazed.
That's incredible.
Because I know
I'm super happy for them.
I know it's not easy. I know that's a place you got to spend almost every day at. You have to spend every day at that place. And
it's hard to have a lot of different species. It's a lot more work to have a lot of different species than it is to have double the same species.
Bro, from monitors, from emeralds to like green trees, like, bro, come on. I've had a lot of different species in one room. It was unfeasible. I had everything going wrong for me at some point. So whatever, Brian just knows. Brian just knows what he's doing, dude. It's fucking nuts. So I can't wait to go back to that place. He wants me to be on his podcast. Looking forward to it.
Nice.
But dude, if you guys, anybody in the Michigan area, go check out Brian's fucking Reptarium, and you'll be so blown away. Check out Salt and Pepper, his damn crocodilians or the American alligators he has. He has a melanistic one, the black looking one, and he has a albino one named Salt and Pepper. I got the whole salt. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, definitely something sick to check out. All right, so we talked about sunset. You got one. You got a sunset. That's pretty awesome. What about scaleless? Are you into the scaleless at all?
No, I've not. I have a scaleless head. One male.
A scaleless head.
But it's actually on Morph Market right now. So when someone buys that, I won't have one. To me, like I have no hate for any ball pythons or anything really. But to me, when I'm evaluating a project, the criteria I go through is, first of all, will everyone want one? Okay. And
Yeah.
with the scaleless, the answer is no. Some people are just turned off by the idea.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think they're cool. But some people just feel that way.
Yeah, I agree.
The next question is what percentage of their collection would they want this morph in? Right? If you talk about Orange Dream, shoot, I can't think of a single snake I don't want Orange Dream in, right? Or Desert Ghost. I definitely want every snake I have to have Desert Ghost. The scaleless? No, I don't want every snake I have to have scaleless. You know what I'm saying? And so that tells you right there that there's a limit to the market share the scaleless can have, because people like them, but they don't want them in too big a percentage of the collection because of the care requirements, or just in general, people like scales on their snakes. It's the way the way snakes are. So now I've never jumped into that project, and it's a neat project, and a lot of people like them, but it's just not been something that I've pursued. Initially, I almost did but it ended up not happening.
Yeah, I think it's really it's a to each their own type of situation. It's kind of like,
right.
There's people who are into it. There's people who aren't. I've seen the kind of care it takes to keep a scaleless, and I'm okay with it. Like, I mean, no, I'm not okay. Meaning, like, I'm okay on keeping it. I don't want to keep it. I don't like to see it the way it sheds. I don't like the way to see. I just don't like. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see a snake like that. I have no problem it being reproduced. Like, shit, if you want to reproduce it, go ahead. There's people that's okay as long as it's eating and it's fine.
Right.
Fucking more power to you. Go ahead. But I've actually come encountered to some photos of some scaleless that just doesn't look right when it sheds, or skin that just, I don't know. It just creeps me out. That's just me. I don't know. I think it's cool
not for everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not for everyone, dude. I mean, like, it's kind of like, I don't know. There's saucy.
I think they're pretty. I would love to have one scaleless, just because.
Me too. I think I could do one.
I would love to show people who come here, like, they see all these colors, all these crazy things. Like, by the way, there's a snake without scales. That's pretty cool. I would love to have one, but as far as producing them for my own or for business, that's not something I'm doing. So
someone try to compare this to like a hairless cat. No, hairless cats are fucking sick as shit. I would totally take a hairless cat over a scaleless ball python. Well, because that gets Mr. Bigglesworth, like, it's Austin Powers. I would love a fucking cat. I'd probably get eaten by my pickles, but.
Well, there's a difference too between, if you're a cat breeder, you probably don't want all hairless cats.
Exactly.
Like, we're in a way we're not ball python. In the end, these aren't pets, and so we're thinking about where we'd like to go with it long term. And I think scaleless to me is not part of that equation for us. So
yeah. But for you, you're not saying it's not like that for anyone else. It's just for what you got going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think in the pet trade, scaleless are definitely a hit, in long term, and there's gonna be plenty of demand for them. I do worry a little bit about the fact that they are a little harder to care for and all that when it comes to pet owners who are probably not as dialed in. But I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm not educated enough on it to know.
Okay. Well, personal question for me, Justin, because I want to know the answer to this. What's your favorite codon right now? What's a codon that you're like so solid about, it's never going to leave your fucking project? I'll wait.
Yeah, good question. Well, a year ago it would have been red stripe, but now I have so many of them that I can't get excited about it now. To me, it's probably what I said earlier, the lace. I love the lace stuff. To me, that is the future in so many ways of what we're doing. It's gonna be see lace. The same criteria that I kind of eliminate scaleless for myself. I say lace is amazing, because to me, lace is something that every snake you have will look better if it has lace or super or white lace in it. There's no limit to how much it can improve everything. You're not going to be like, oh, I don't want that because it has the blank in it. That no one's ever going to say that. So to me, that has like a potential 100% market share potential, which means it's a good buy. It's a good buy for investment. Orange Dream, there's no reason why Orange Dream shouldn't be in everything. So those are probably my two favorite codoms right now.
Yeah, man, I'm ready. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because Orange Dream's the one thing that I'm ready to put into the mix of what I've been working on because it only makes sense. Orange Dream is such a damn legacy morph. Like it's just it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to have it. It really doesn't.
Oh yeah. And legacy morphs, they come. What happens is funny because they kind of fade out sometimes and they come roaring back, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think.
No, hell no. And what's crazy is I'm so privileged to be able to talk to Ozzy about the OD because you know who the hell else put fucking OD on the map? He did.
It's completely him.
It's for 100%. And he's such a laid back dude, man. You're super laid back too, Justin. You guys are so just nonchalant, just like, hey, look, this is my everyday, But the thing with Ozzy is like, man, this guy has so many he's a financial advisor, gets fucking flown to Europe for so many business trips where like literally he does the snake for a passion and a hobby. He does not do this to feed his kids. He does it because he just loves it.
Right.
And like thank God for passion.
That's cool.
Thank God for passion, because if it wasn't for passion, we wouldn't have people like fucking Justin. We wouldn't have people like Ozzy. I mean, we'd have fucking rip-off versions. We'd have people who are trying to short dime, nickel and dime people and fucking put them through the runaround and shit. So I don't know. I really appreciate what you've been doing, Justin, since day one. And the fact that you're on here talking to me and, having everyone tuned in on this, it's so inspiring, man. Like, I don't know, Justin. I mean, I honestly can't wait to see you again in person because I'm going to make sure I press record the next time, like 100%.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just can't wait to see the display. Like, guys, listen, if it's one thing that I love since I was a kid, it's the production. It's the setup. And I will not forget the way Justin's fucking shit is set up at a show. It's lit up. The lighting's LED. It's perfect. It's purple. It stands out. Mm-hmm. He's fucking there, and he has his animals display. Everything you see on Instagram is there in person. And I'm telling you, when you see it in person, it's a whole different fucking level. It's a different, like, man, and that goes for a lot of people out there who post their snakes.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't get justice until you see it in person. And I'm telling you right now, it's something amazing. And you got to make sure you put yourself out there to see these people's production in person. It's no joke, especially your snakes, Justin. It's beyond me.
So did you hit record tonight? Just making sure this has all been live, right?
Oh, we're good. No, we're good. We're good. Okay. We're good. We're 100% good. We're actually doing a giveaway tonight after we wrap this up. So listen, before we finish this up, Justin, I do have some hot seat questions for you, if that's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. You cool with that?
Yeah.
We're gonna go now. Okay. The round's starting.
Okay.
Here we go. You ready? So these are gonna be what would you prefer type questions. And then we're going to get into some word association. Okay.
Oh, fun.
All right. So here we go. If you had to prefer, so frozen thawed or live?
Live.
Are you an egg cutter or a no egg cutter?
I'm an egg cutter at the proper time.
Okay. Are you big flexing or no flexing?
Medium flexing.
Okay.
I want the animals to flex, so I don't have to.
That's big flexing then. You're considered a big
flex.
Okay,
I'll take it.
All right. Okay. Baseball or football?
Football.
Steak or calamari?
Steak.
All right. Are you Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Halen.
All right. Oh, nice. Eminem or Machine Gun Kelly?
Eminem, for sure.
Choicey. Are you West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West.
All right. All right. So we're going to do some word association. First thing to come to mind. You ready?
All right.
Milk,
Cow.
cocoa,
Repetitive.
stuck shed,
Soak.
tail suck,
Eggs.
Instagram troll.
Ignore.
All right. All right. You had to go left or right. Is it Instagram versus Facebook? What would you pick? Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram. 100%.
All right. Okay. On that note, Justin, I want to give you the floor. Okay. You've had a consistent about 75 viewers this whole time. By far the most I've ever had. I'm small time. I don't have a lot of people that
Sweet.
sit down on this and mess with me, but they've been here. I want to give you the floor real quick. Give me the floor and tell me what you want to, tell me how you feel about your followers, your supporters, because at the end of the day, man, nobody's shit without their supporters. Okay. What do you have to say to everybody who looks up to you? What do you have to say to everyone who's been here, following you, listening to you? Like, give us something.
Well, this is the after midnight Justin, so you can get the real Justin. So, man, I would just say that everybody who has over the years been a customer or just a follower or just been involved in any way has been completely the oxygen that has allowed me to do what I've done, right? Because in the end, we could all breed snakes and do it just for ourselves, but it's the camaraderie of the industry and the camaraderie of the different people who can kind of feed off of each other and get ideas and inspiration from each other. And of course, financially speaking, like all this costs a lot of money. And so the fact that you guys, supporters, have been willing to support my dreams by buying my animals, right? They've shared in my dreams with me. And that is what has allowed it to become so much bigger and so much greater over the years. To where, when I got in, I think my ultimate dream when I started was just to pay my bills and breed snakes, that's what I wanted to do for fun. I thought if I could do that for fun during work time and pay my mortgage, that's it. That's it. And if I could have a kid and keep a car running, that's enough. But the fact that people have invested in me so much over the years to where it's gone so much further than that, like unbelievably further than that. Like I have no words for how cool that's been. And it makes me just want to keep it going, keep it going and keep this amazing journey alive in the sense of just keep performing year after year after year, making it better and better. And then not actually like undercutting the coolness of what we do. I was saying earlier, like these snakes are so cool that it's literally selfish not to show them and to share the passion and to really share with people what they're doing and show it in a way that is equal to how cool they are, right? I think that's in the end, that's kind of the motivation for, in a way, JKR is known for its marketing. But all that is me continually trying to make some marketing that maybe will give these snakes what they're worth, right? They're due, without pretending like this is the most amazing thing on the face of the planet. Like, how crazy is what we do? How crazy is this? Literally, we breed snakes for a living. Some of us, right? We breed snakes, all colors and pattern. This is living art. The sky's the limit. Nothing you can imagine so far has ever been shown as impossible. These are living animals, and we got to do something that we love, do it for a living. Like I want to wake up every day and not forget that's amazing, and I want to act in this industry like I know it's amazing and share that passion with other people. So it's the customers to make it possible. Otherwise, I'm just some guy in my basement still doing it for the fun of it. But But now we've grown something so much bigger that really unbelievable. It's beyond.
I mean, I don't think you guys could hear enough passion than what just came out of Justin's mouth. This guy is not trying to hoard shit to himself. He's not trying to be in the basement by his lone self. Like, he literally goes to shows so he can make your damn dream a reality. And that's exactly what I felt when I went to go see him finally. Can we see you possibly in the next West Coast show? I mean, if everything goes well, Corona goes to shit. You know what I mean?
We'll see, man.
You plan on Pomona?
I wanted to do Pomona in January. Yeah, I wanted to do Pomona in January. I wanted to do this past one, but I was in the middle of the move and everything. But yeah, I loved that show. I would love to go back. To me, it's so cool because it's such a different group of people, and you get a completely different crowd than you do at Tinley. So I definitely want to do it again.
And that's all I care about, because I would love to see Justin in Pomona or Anaheim, wherever the hell we have it at here in California. But and then Justin, I would love to go ahead and steal you and take you to San Diego for a day, maybe for some tacos or some real Mexican food.
Yeah,
that way you could really get. Don't get me wrong, the Anaheim area and Pomona is not a bad area, but honestly, man, the real paradise of Southern California is San Diego, hands down.
Really? I've not been down there yet, so I'll take your plane.
Oh God, then it's happening. Please trust me.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about JP, but his girlfriend puts mayonnaise on her tacos versus sour cream. That's a little weird to me.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, right.
I've never heard of that.
So JP is really under the assumption that real Mexican food comes from Texas. Like, he's a little off on his things, and he needs guidance. So if you want to be a part, if you want to be a part of our MJ Taco Tour next time, Anaheim or big shows in town, please, I have a couple wristbands available. We will provide transportation for you, and we will make sure your safety is at priority. No, in all seriousness, Justin, I appreciate your time, man. You gave me 3 hours and 13 minutes of your time and going. I know I can at least take 3 hours more of your time, because you are that inspiring. What you're doing is so impactful, man. It's just, I mean, I don't know what to say, man. Just don't stop. I don't even think I have to tell you to stop, because you're not going to stop.
Oh, no.
You're the fucking man, dude. You're doing such a great thing. And I hope to bring you back on here again. I know your time's valuable, but I could tell you right now, what you were able to do for me and the viewers today is very memorable, man. And I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it too. It's always good to talk snakes. So you think I do it enough, but usually most of my conversations about snakes are not with people who ask good questions. So
yeah,
this is always nice. So.
Big time. All right, Justin, we're gonna let you go, bro. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for giving us that information. We're all stoked to see what the 2020 is gonna look like. We can't wait for that new name that's gonna drop at some point. I mean, we don't know what it is, but about to happen.
Me too.
So we'll be in touch, man. I'm gonna be talking to you soon. And yeah, man. Everybody, Justin Kobylka, JKR, the fucking big heavyweight. God damn it. This was so sick. All right, you have a good night, Justin. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys. All right. Thanks, man. Bye.
Damn. Heavy. Woo. Super heavy. Oh, I got to piss so bad. Whew. All right, Justin Kobylka, guys, in the building. That was amazing. How sick was that? Woo! All right, we're going to get into the giveaway real quick. I hope there's people still in the comments, because we're going to get into this giveaway. Let me see if Lily's ready. Lily, you ready? Let's see. It's the with my face. All right. So real quick, guys, I appreciate everybody who hung in here for the entire interview, 3 hours deep. I could have went at least another 2 hours, 3 hours, 100%. But I'm not taking that dude's time. We're going to bring on from round two. This is what it is. At this time, what I'm going to do, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the giveaway real quick. So I need to get prepared for this. If you guys don't mind just kicking it for a little bit, and let me log in, and then Not now. Let me log in real quick, and I'm gonna do the giveaway, and then we'll see who this fire yellow belly goes to. Okay, I'm pretty stoked. I'm not gonna lie. How do I go to this link? Copy link. All right. Real quick, before we get into the giveaway, guys, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to everyone who's been contributing to the auction, the benefit auction for Forrest Fanning. You have no idea how important this is, how much it means to me and everyone else who's involved in this. So the Madison Area Herpetological Society is basically the donation where everything that we bid on at the auction goes to that foundation, which goes to Lars and Desiree. So it's super huge. I bet big on some damn Yeezys that Forrest bought. I don't know why, but I love them, so I don't give a shit. So that's what's going on in my world with that. But please make sure you head over to that. That's going live until Saturday. And there's some really cool stuff that you could take advantage of, man, and bet on. And then everything you bet on goes to a good cause. Okay. So that's being said, that's that. All right. So let me get moving here. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Oh man, 6 Coronas deep. My bladder's really weak at this point. So comment Instagram. Sorry, I was not more prepared for this, but we're getting moving right now. Okay, real quick. I want to ask, how do you guys think this interview went with Justin? What do you guys think? This was insightful? Do you think this was really something that was impactful, something that you're able to take home with you guys? Because I really do. I really think this was fucking amazing. Lucas, I do too. I think I am gonna get these Yeezys. I'm pretty sure no one else is betting on them. But guys, Justin, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I never thought I would have the time of day like this with Justin. And I really feel like the viewers, man, you guys here are a big part of the reason why I was able to have Justin. So without you guys, man, it wouldn't be possible. Shout out to you guys. To my wife, Lily, who's freaking out. Listen, I figured it out, babe. We're good. I found the Instagram random comment picker. We are now going to pick who wins the freaking fire yellow belly. What the hell's on this, dude? I'm trying to get out of this, yo. All right, log in with Instagram login. Boom. I can't wait to take a piss. Hey, I'm excited though, man. I really hope it's somebody I really fuck with. I don't want to give my snake to a random, because here's the deal. If you are not able to show me proof, right? Like, let's just say somebody wins and I don't know who you are, and you're unable to show me proof that you could take care of this animal, right? Or you need donations to take care of this animal. You're not getting this animal. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Call me a dick. Call me whatever you want. It's just not going to happen. And that's that. Because it's all about the animal. I mean, I get it. These are cool. We're going to want to do this. All right. Here's the deal. We're going to pick the animal. We're going to pick the winner right now. Okay. You guys are going to give me like 2 minutes. Okay. Because I need to use the restroom and I just can't wait. So stick around, follow DMJ Reptiles, and you'll see it. But give me 1 minute. We'll come back and we'll pick the winner. So make sure you're in the comments, because the winner has to be in the comments. So. All right, let's pick it. Pick it time. We're good. All right, who wants a free snake? Let's go. All right, so I'm an Instagram comment picker. Whew, I feel so much better. That's not it. Dude, this is annoying. Pick a winner. Boom. Paste link. Boom. Fetch. Anything goes. Oh, hold on. We could pick. Oh, keyword finder. No, we'll do anything goes. All right. So let's see who's in the building real quick, because we got this stuff. This stuff's really, really happening. So 8:45. Where's O'Malley? O'Malley said he really needed to win this. Is he in the building or no? No. Jocelyn Wright's in the building, so I hope she wins. Ron, I just drained. Ron's been on me this episode. What's going on, Ron? Are we friends? Where's Lucas? Is Lucas gonna win this? Jason, where's Jason at? Getting blown up on the Insta. Man, I wish I would win it. Well, fuck, if you wish you win this, get on here. What are you messaging me for? All right. So Dan's in the building. Dan Bell. Damn, I hope you win this. I want you to name this snake Troy. I have not named this snake, Dan. So if you win this snake, name it Troy. So here we go. Pick a winner. Let's go. All right. 1, 2, 3. Can you hurry up? Dude, this shit sucks, bro. I don't even know if I could win this one, or I could use this site because it's not working. All right, wait. Well, oh shit. No way, bro. Can you believe it? I almost want to like. I'm not gonna lie. So I got it to work, right? I almost want to rig this, but I'm not kidding. So look who the winner is. Boom. So here's the winner. I can't believe. Oh my God. Who's the winner? Oh my Lord. Does anybody know this guy? And his comment was dope. Yeah, can you believe this? I think I need to redo this. I need to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Hold on. Sit tight. I'm going to do it again. Hold on. I don't believe it. I think I pressed the pick the winner too many times. Okay, here we go. All right, this is the one. Is this guy here? Do we have this guy here? Is this guy here? Please tell me he's here. Tell me he's here. If he's not, we're going to do it again. Is he here? Will, I can do what I want, Will. I'm fucking shady. I don't give a shit. Is this guy here or not? If not, we're going to do one more round. If we don't get it this round, it has to go to Morph Mixology. This is it. Is he here? Oh, Daniel? Daniel won. Oh, Daniel won. Daniel. Is that you, Daniel? Is that you? That's him. He's here. I'll pass on the snake, though. Don't have... Damn. He passed on the snake. Don't have the room. Wow. So this goes to Jason. This goes to Jason. I even tried picking another winner. The other winner declined it. And I don't have a choice. Jason. Morph Mixology, everybody. That is the winner. Jesus Christ. I'm not trying to give anything to a Patriot fan. I'm not happy right now. But it is what it is. I'm not going to be, fuck. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. So look, Jason, you're going to pay fucking shipping on that. And I just went ahead and calculated shipping $350 to Montana. So make sure you PayPal that to me and we'll go ahead and ship that animal as soon as possible. Weather permitting. Yes. No, I'm just kidding, bro. Handle the shipping and I got you. I'll send that over to you. Shout out to Jason. Jason's cool as fuck. Yo, by the way, Jason has some merch that's coming out. Check it out. Support the homie. Anybody out there that's putting out merch in the hobby, support them. I'm telling you, man, shit like this, I'd much rather wear shit like this than like fucking, Nordstrom shit or department store shit. Like, yo, we need to start repping more hobby stuff. That being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there right now, okay? So, yes, support the auction, okay? We talked about that. More importantly, guys, the Forrest Fanning Memorial shirts. We went ahead and said there's only 100 of those being fucking sent out or being sold. Well, guess what? We're coming out with another 100, okay? Because of the demand for them is just too hot. It's too heavy. It's too high. We're coming out with another 100. So that being said, if you want to get your hands on a Follow Your Zoo Dreams Forrest Fanning Memorial t-shirt. So this is the FF Series 01, okay? We're coming out with another 100 of these, okay? So hit me up. Instagram, MJ Exotics Cartel or the Snake Trap Sessions. Hit me up on Facebook, Michael Juarez. That's how you can find me on Facebook if you need to. But guys, we're coming out with some more FF Series 01 shirts for my man, because this is too hot, man. People need to be wearing this shirt. A lot of people want this shirt. So please hit me up if you want to make sure you want to get your hands on one. If you're really fucking with Forrest Fanning, if you're repping my boy 110%, you'll get a shirt. You'll get a shirt. 100%. All proceeds going to Desiree and Lars. Bottom line, but this is a FF1 Forrest Fanning Memorial t-shirt. You're not going to sleep on this, okay? And then there's an FF Series 2 t-shirt, and that's even more intense, okay? Moving forward, I will say every series moving forward, there's only going to be 100. I don't have control of that, okay? I'm just a middleman. I'm just, you know what I mean? So FF Series 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to who knows. We're trying to go, we're not trying to cap it. It's just going to go as high as we could possibly get. But if you want to take advantage of the FF Series 1 shirts, please let me know. I got you guys. We have all sizes from XS, extra smalls to XXXXXL. Fucking the big dudes, you know what I mean? Shouts to my big homies out there. But hey guys, real quick before I leave, everyone who was in the comments, everyone who was here, if it's not for you guys, this shit's not possible. You guys fucking rock, yo. You guys are the shit. So Will, Lucas, Raul, Jocelyn, fucking Elite Exotics, fucking Brewery Boys, Emily, dude, shout out to Emily. She's a fucking coming through on the crucial on the fucking auction shit, helping out the McVeys. I mean, dude, this community is so legit. I got to get going, man. My wife needs that time. You know what I mean? It's that one-on-one time with me and my wife, you know? But you guys are amazing, man. Get ready for next week. Next week, we got a fucking big dog next week. And I mean the big dog, if you know what I mean. Hint, motherfucking hint. That's what's happening next week. It's only going to get heavier. It's only going to get heavier, okay? Love everybody. Love each other. Love yourself, man. God is good. I'll catch you guys in the next one.